Kanpai!
Kanpai!
Hey. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 9. Wow, we've almost reached double digits. How's that feel, guys?
Pretty good, yeah.
Yes. It's pretty good. So it's episode 9 of Kanpai Cast. Welcome, everyone. So we're going to have another cool week where we talk about anime and anime-adjacent things like we normally do. And we've all been... we've put this one off for a few weeks now, and we're all been waiting to get to this topic. But, so, before I explain what the topic is, shall I do the housekeeping first?
Yep.
Cool. So, housekeeping for this week. So, unfortunately, due to a series of complications, we've lost the supporter questions for this week. They've gone walkabouts. We do apologise. So for the next week, double supporter questions. So if you are a supporter of the Xenogelion there, which there is a link in the description, if you wish to become one, you can do double questions. Find some meaty questions, and we'll put some extra time into doing it next week. Also, we are looking to pimp the show, okay, as much as possible, and we're doing so using highlights from the show. Please feel free to put a timestamp at any point in the comments and simply say highlight. You can see the results on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Oh, not the TikTok. The places I forgot to link last week.
Yeah, I was supposed to read that one out. Yes. Yeah, no, I forgot to put the links in.
Oh, and if you don't know how to do a timestamp in YouTube comments, you literally just type in the number with colons, 2 dots separating it, and it'll just take. We'll just type that in. When you submit your comment, it'll even turn to a hyperlink that'll take you straight to that point in the video. It's really useful. So you just put in the timestamp.
Yep.
Oh, excuse me. This episode, it's explained now. Hurrah! So what is this episode that we have been waiting to do? This episode is about Star Wars Visions. The entire episode will consist of spoilers. So if you have a couple of hours to go watch the entirety of it before you watch this episode, enjoy. You have been warned. I think in a minute we're just going to hit that spoiler button as hard as we can, and that is it, because we are going to hit the ground running with this one. Shall I do an introduction just to let people know what Star Wars Visions is if they have not seen it
go for it.
Or heard of it?
Go for it.
Right, so Star Wars Visions is a sort of weird little mini micro project done by Disney, which, since The Last Jedi, no, not The Last Jedi, well, since The Last Jedi and the Rise of Palpatine, completely destroyed the Star Wars canon. The Rise of Palpatine. And they've had their mini success with The Mandalorian, which has been quite reasonably well taken, I'd say, by the community. Have either of you seen The Mandalorian?
Yes, yep. I'm big in. I still need to watch The Bad Bunch, which is apparently the new animated one they have.
Yep. So, but in the wake of these other projects, instead of the big movies being kind of a draw for Star Wars, they decided, I don't know why, that this must be a drunken bet at Disney. This really must be. They went to a bunch of anime studios and say, hey, here's some money. Go make some anime Star Wars for us.
I mean,
and so
we have Matrix.
They're not. Ooh, yeah, we'll get into that another time.
Did it?
But
Yeah,
exactly. Well, that is a question for another time. Right, but let's see if it worked for Star Wars. So we've got 9. They're not like, I'd say like mini episodes or mini stories to go over. They're not like mini-sodes or whatever. They're all, what was that? About 20 minutes. Some of them are up to almost like 18 minutes long.
Gosh, a lot of them are under 15 minutes.
Yeah, most of them are like 12. Yeah,
it's kind of a problem.
Weirdly enough,
I'm not sure.
Weirdly enough, the ones we like are actually about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I think that might be a thing which comes back in the section where we just discuss the topic at the end. So yeah, they all tell a little mini story within. I wouldn't say within the Star Wars universe, because some of them are clearly not set in the actual Star Wars universe, but work on the same premise. Or theme. Some of them are very loosely themed, aren't they? Yeah, and so the way this episode is going to go, now I've explained to you what it is we are just going to go through them in the order they are listed.
Do we want to pause real quick, Xeno?
No, it's fine. Just don't point it out. You won't notice. It's fine. It's fine. Loz, just keep going. We believe in you.
Just power through it.
My legs.
Yeah.
Legs. Hands. I have legs and hands. Okay,
no, it's fine. No, Loz, it's fine. Loz, it's fine. It's fine.
Nothing
Oh,
happened.
well, okay. Anyway, so what we're going to talk about is, so we're going to do the episodes in the order they're listed, 1 to 9. One of us will introduce them, and we'll just literally go ham with spoilers, explaining exactly what happens. And then there'll be a bit of a debate in each one. And then at the end, I think the three of us are going to debate what we think, or how we think the whole project went. Yeah? Sound good?
Yeah.
Cool.
And Loz saw
Right.
nothing.
I didn't see anything, especially with this helmet on. Nope. I don't even know if it was I that screwed up, or that Xeno's hat fell off, or that Nasuth actually appeared from the virtual world himself for a second. I don't know. One of these things is happened, I'm sure, and everyone can enjoy it. But anyway, let us move on to the start. Let's get into these visions. Vision number 1
Oh gosh,
of Star Wars. Which one was that?
that was the Duel, which so it was Kamikaze Doga was the studio. I've never heard of them before. I didn't look into anything that they've done. I just know that they're the ones that did it. I feel like it has a very living manga feel with the black and white and drawing. Like it's not supposed to be an anime per se. It's supposed to be like a living manga.
So what's it about?
There is a random guy who comes to this little town, which is getting attacked. But while he's there, gets attacked by this woman and her merry band of warriors, something bandits, yeah. And he comes out to defend them. And it turns out that he's also at least a dark force user. The lesson I took away from this was that not all dark users have to be Sith. And I think that's what he was. He was a dark user that was taking down other Sith. Which is essentially what he did. I mean, he did defend the village, which makes you think maybe he's a good guy. But I don't think so. I think he did it because he knew that he wanted the crystal. Why he gave the crystal away at the end, that's another question.
I felt that was just a case of like, you take this crystal, you sell it, and you rebuild.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
So he's like a good bad guy.
Or maybe he saw something in the kid that he thought might be fostered by the dark side without becoming a Sith. Who knows? True.
So what were your thoughts and feels of this?
I'm not sure if it fits in the universe. I kind of think it could, because there are other types of Force user than Jedi and Sith, but I don't really think I don't know where it would fit in the story in the lore if it fit anyway. I did really like it though. I really enjoyed this one. Like just as a general story, the flashiness of it, the interactions between the characters, the whole plan he had where he had to buy a certain amount of time for his droid to get fixed. Like it all came together pretty well.
That droid. That droid. Loz, do you have any points you want to add to this? Because ideally, I'd like to go to town. I'd like to go to town, but if you've got something you want to say, go for it.
No, I'd say you go to town first, and then I can come afterwards if need be.
Okay. Right.
I feel like I'm the odd man out on this one.
Right. Okay. So
seeing as about this, I just want to point out. So before you start, seeing as about it is about the bad guys going to town, I think it's time that you
went to town. Right. Okay. So I'm going to say I have bullet points for all of these. So first off, I like the old movie aesthetic. The R2 unit, the droid that is with our wandering companion with the straw hat was stupid. It looked dumb. It was dumb incarnate, right? I didn't mind the 3D animation. However, I wasn't a fan of the surreal shading where the characters would move really slowly, but the shading would just jump all over the place. I didn't like that. It felt really off-putting to me.
So I thought that was supposed to be like smudgy charcoal from the drawing.
Yeah, but the thing was that it just wasn't. It didn't have any consistency with the shading, and shading is like in animation is typically renowned to be really smooth and fluid. This felt like, as you said, it's like cave drawings effectively, where every single drawing was different. But it was weirdly just the shading, nothing else, right? I liked the sparing use of color, right? So it was mostly
the reds,
colors, red. There was the occasional blue, green, yellow. The yellow blaster shots felt like wild use of creative license.
Yeah, I don't think do we ever see yellow?
Yes.
Aside from I think we see no. I mean in the actual universe. I think there's Ahsoka. Doesn't Ahsoka have?
No, she has white, doesn't she?
It was yellow.
But Plo Koon has yellow.
Mm.
Yeah, the Plo Koon.
Yeah.
The one that had like more backstory than anything, except for screen time. Anyway, I liked the use of the hired mercenaries to protect the village. The music was lovely and atmospheric. It tied very much to the old 90s movies like Akira and Ghost in the Shell. Needed the droid work. Sorry, hold it. Needing the droid to work by the time the pot battles was weak as hell. That's literally one of my bullet points. That was dumb. That was fucking. I need this droid working by the time this. You can't fucking hear the pot. What does it matter if the fucking pot's boiling?
He doesn't need to hear the pot. It's like a timer.
Yeah,
rather than saying to the guy, I need this done in 300 seconds, I need it done by the time the pot boils.
It's a fucking droid. It has electronics. I'm pretty sure there's a watch somewhere in this universe. Right? Who knows how much fucking water's in this pot? How hot the fucking fire... Stupid. Anyway, I like
the current temperature of the room, the stability of the electricity, the age of the cattle, and the heating.
The Force told him. The Force whispered it to him.
Fuck off. Anyway, I liked the Sith versus Sith action.
Mm-hmm.
All in all, this episode was very anime, not very Star Wars.
Yeah, that's fair.
Loz?
Oh, I also would really love to know more about his backstory in general.
Well,
right. Okay.
My town animation was too happy.
Your town was too happy. You started on the droid, and I'm like, right, then get to about the other bit. Anyway, so yeah, the animation was lovely. It was the first one I watched of this, and I thought it was an interesting starter. I didn't mind things like the weird lightsaber umbrella. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
I didn't mind just the fight they had with the lightsaber. Cool. I did one positive point that I liked seeing was those.
Should we pause it? Yeah.
I got it.
Right. Okay. Rant begin again. So, yes. Art style of this one was nice, it was good, and I enjoyed it. It was the first one I watched, and that was nice. I didn't mind the new edition, which was the lightsaber umbrella. It's a bit silly, but it was like, okay, fair enough. They're adding something different. Then, right, the main premise I don't like about this is that I don't understand what their goal was. Take away the Star Wars element from this one. You've got some stormtroopers, you've got a droid or a couple of droids, you've got some people shooting blasters. Swap the blasters for crossbows and the droids for just people. And the samurai was just like a Ronin, so he was like, that's what it was supposed to be, I guess. He was like good, but he wasn't truly good, so he's like exiled good. And then you just had the bad people attacking the town, and this is just a generic samurai drama with incredible light sprinkles of Star Wars stuff on top of it. It's so superficial is my problem with it. I think one thing I praised, I'm not sure if it came up in the recording, I'm not sure what it did, was the force power in the fight, which was kind of a good point, but also a bad point, is when you saw the lady using her force powers to adjust the log to affect the window she had access to in the waterfall. I was like, right, good. Why aren't you using that to throw rocks at the guy or pick up logs or destroy him with rocks? I don't know. It was just rather limited. So it's just like, why aren't they, while fighting with lightsaber, flipping their opponent's end of the log upwards so that they fall over? There's things they should be doing. It was very, very limited. So I don't see how this was Star Wars. This was just, we make a samurai drama, and then you get a 5-year-old to go back through with his Star Wars stickers. Yeah, that's what it felt to me.
I do completely agree with that sentiment. It's I enjoyed it, but not as anything Star Wars. This was
That's
about
kind of a running theme.
Well,
there are some good ones, but
Yeah.
like we'll come to those.
I think one thing that get me is that, so when I say stickers, so the town itself didn't feel like a sci-fi town or a futuristic town. This almost felt like two TV shows meshing together for some weird, because the tape of two VHSs had been overlapped or something. And exploring the society of those people, if they were actually in the Star Wars world or universe, would have been interesting. We could have seen little things just about their day life. Instead, it literally felt like a historical Japanese group of people that had blasters and could work droids for no adequately explained reason, when their buildings were made of reeds and rice.
To be fair, a lot of the people in a lot of the really poor areas in Star Wars don't necessarily feel like sci-fi towns.
No,
a lot of the places in Tatooine were just like domed huts.
No, but they still had the trappings and the existence of that universe. Like, you could see things like parts of droids used as roofs and just bits of tools and things. If you look carefully in the background, like they've obviously been living alongside higher technology for a long time and have loads of broken junk, and they have to make use of that broken junk. Whereas this literally just felt like an ancient Japanese village. It did not feel like a Star Wars ancient Japanese village. It just felt like we've pulled this out of one show and shoved it into this one. It doesn't take much. You just have to see them using droids in their daily life, or part of the wall is a computer or a terminal or something. It doesn't take much.
So, thinking about this, like after you said this, a large part of me feels now that they're trying to actually draw back to the original inspiration of the original trilogy of Star Wars. I can't remember the name of the movies, the old Japanese movies.
Spaghetti westerns.
Spaghetti westerns?
I think that's what they're called, isn't it?
I thought they were
westerns with the shooting and the hats.
I thought it was like the Kurosawa movies or something like that.
Oh yeah, those two.
Would you like to pause to check them up?
No.
Okay.
And
that's Italian ones. Never mind.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Oops.
Kind of give that away, Nasuth. But anyway, so I feel like this is trying to draw back to those original inspirations, but realistically, Star Wars has evolved to a point where it's really dissimilar from those origins. So it would have been nice to have actually seen that this movie would not only reflect the origins, but the more recent stuff as well, rather than just the origins. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I can understand that.
Cool.
So it started at where its origins were, and it took those and it inspired it, and then it should take the things it's made in itself back to the origins to improve upon them.
Yeah.
Not just stickers.
The origins. Yeah, not just stickers. There you go. So, out of this one, we're going to rate it. Yeah?
I just want to say the droid, back to the bloody droid again, which makes the lightsaber guy completely redundant, because this one droid's missile pack takes out about 20 dudes. It was just like, we've been building up some tension, and how are they going to get out of this? Oh, the droid turned on. Yeah. Right? What's that mean? Well, it's got missiles that just one-shot everything. Right, okay. How about just buy 5 of those droids and become invincible, because they can just one-shot armies?
Yeah.
It didn't look expensive, that droid, but it flew down and went, yep, I'm going to one-shot everyone. How did it know? I don't know. It's just like, the story needs to end now, so all these people's dudes need to just lose because the droid turned on. It was so... How did that guy know how to fix that droid? What happens if he couldn't fix it in time? It was stupid.
Well, one of the utterly ridiculous things is, I'm like, here's a car. I have a car, here. It needs to be fixed. You need to fix it by the time I turn on this kettle. What stupid, idiotic restriction is that?
Yeah. What happens if you had to send out for parts? What if you're like, oh no, I ain't got any spark plugs. I can't fix this car to next Thursday at the earliest.
Yeah.
It's only if I can get first class postage on the spark plugs.
Yeah.
So stupid.
Okay. So this one, Star Wars stickers out of 10. Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Should we move on to the second one?
Sure.
Right, second one. Here we go.
This was Studio Colorido, and it's called Tatooine Rhapsody, but I call it Jabba's Junkyard Band because it doesn't deserve any better than that. It's so... I didn't write much down about it because it's... Okay, so basic premise, there is a guy and his band, and it has Jabba's nephew in it, I think. It's a Hutt. And the Hutt wants to be a rock star. He doesn't want to be in the crime syndicate thing. So they want to perform in Jabba's palace really, really badly. And they don't think they're going to do it, but then they do. And they sing, and everyone loves it, and it's okay. Everything's good now.
They sung a song.
I don't buy it as part of the universe, and it's boring. It's just so... There's no way that Jabba would like that song. Even the original Japanese version, which I'm sure is much better than the English version we got. There's no way Jabba would be like, oh, this is fine. I like this.
I shall pardon you from your execution because I like this jam.
Yeah.
Even the Boba Fett likes the jam.
Oh, God.
I'm sure it was supposed to just be like, oh, we'll do a cute little fun story. It doesn't have to be all Star Warsy. It's just bad.
Loz, do you want to go next?
Yeah, so this one was still, again, Star Wars stickers, but not as bad, or not as superficial as the last one, because this one actually decided to use stickers. This one had the budget to use stickers that had named characters on, rather than just, oh, look, a lightsaber. Oh, look, a droid. But I doubt I think me and Xeno were talking about the canonicity or canonicity of this one, of where it fits, because at the start you see this Jedi running away and you see battle droids. That firmly puts it somewhere. So was you say? And clone troopers. And so that puts it in the. If this was actual proper thing, this is then in the prequel trilogy region. Okay, but then, and this is one thing you pointed out. We have an adult Boba Fett. I don't know how. I don't know why. And this is just, we want to sing a song. Yeah, but he can't sing a song. Why? Because he can't be a mafia boss. Oh, no. Well, Boba Fett captured him now. Okay. Let's go sing a song to save our friend. We sung a song to save our friend. Woo! That was fine, little tiny story. It wasn't special. It was just kind of, okay, fine, whatever. I want to give it a plus point, though, that it didn't... Okay, so it's taking a character like Boba Fett, and it didn't just take a dump on him. It did show him he was rather ruthless. They couldn't escape him. He was just a one-man unstoppable army, and he would get his job done.
Do you not remember the crowd surfing Boba Fett?
The crowd surfing Boba Fett.
Yeah,
okay. That's like, yeah, but okay. There's nothing wrong with that for 1 second. But then what happens in the end? He doesn't get stopped. He chases them down. They try and flee. He ain't gonna stop. This is the Boba Fett. He's gonna get you. Okay. So you can have a little bit like that, like, oh, you got crowd surfed away and things, but that's not gonna stop him. It's like, okay, yeah, that's fine. It's a fair trade off. So you still what's this say? Okay, hang on. Sorry, I pushed button. But the next point I didn't like about this one is that, and how it is just Star Wars stickers, is that they decided to execute this Hutt. They have to do it at the pod racing arena style?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Because they had to have a space for the band to play.
Jabba has a palace. Wouldn't you do it outside or on top of the palace? It literally just felt like, oh yeah, well, it's Jabba and we're on Tatooine, and where's someone that's somewhere that is memorable? Oh yeah, the pod racing start area.
Now this is pod racing.
Now that's good. Thank you for saying that. That's exactly my point. It would have been fine if there was some pod racing going on. Like, literally have this as like the pod racing was going on. That's why everyone is there. And so Jabba wanted to make a scene of killing his nephew or relative at the start of a pod racing thing. That explains why we're in the pod racing arena. Instead, Jabba's like, I'm going to kill my relative. Everyone has to turn up, or else. I don't know. I mean, look at this picture at the moment. There's like, what, millions of people there? If there wasn't pod racing and they did kill the nephew, would it just be? I mean, was there scheduled to be dancers on later, or maybe an evening matinee? Or was it just right? Yeah, I killed him. Giant slug died because we shot him with lasers. Good job, everyone. You can all go home now. Do you know how long it would take to evacuate that stand in a rural area that is Tatooine?
Do you think Jabba would care?
Yeah, do you think? I think 5 people will probably die on the way out. It's so big.
Look, it's they don't have much for entertainment there. They got to make a big deal out of something, and you know, maybe he pops really nicely when you squeeze him, and that's all they care about. They want to see the juice.
I want to point out. Do you remember in one of the special editions, like I think it's like the special edition XL Turbo George Lucas edition of Return of the Jedi? Where they added in the band to Jabba's palace.
Yes.
Which just affirms more the point. Maybe that's why Jabba the Hutt actually lets Guy go. Because he realised, hold on, I don't have nearly enough troops to control this. I think if we're ever going to have a band, we're going to have the band back at my place. Because then I could just like throw them into the Sarlacc. No, not Sarlacc pit. The Rancor.
Rancor pit.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, why isn't it? See, there you go. There's a better way for him to execute. Why isn't he chucking people into the Rancor pit? We could have had a funny. We could have had like a funny, like Boba Fett, like, oh, don't fall off the edge, Boba Fett. That's the Rancor pit down there. Oh, cheers! I almost fell off that time.
You're thinking the Sarlacc pit.
The Sarlacc pit. Sorry, the Sarlacc pit. Oh, sorry, yeah. Well, there we go. The Rancor pit or the Sarlacc pit. Either would have been fine for executing people. No, I'm going to shoot them with lasers at the pod racing arena. But like, that's the thing. If it just took 30 seconds more to set up that this was happening at the start of a pod race, because that's a great time for everyone to be there, it would have been like, and then we could have even got the band playing while we saw the pods start their first lap. Could have cut to some pod racing. Would have been amazing. I would have actually been like, oh yeah, this is pretty cool. But instead it's just like, oh no, they saved, and then so they saved the kid by music, woo, and he did one giant force jump, and I'm surprised in front of all those people didn't do a force jump and go, hey, can humans normally jump that high? That's a bit weird, isn't it? That's a bit weird. But I just want to give 2 last positive points, which is the droid that's on screen there, the background. I don't know what she was, the bass player or whatever. I did like that droid and wanted more, and also the weird alien that was like 3. Was it the drummer?
It's got butt plugs for ears. Look at it.
Oh my god!
It's a Tatooine droid, or it's a droid. It's a cheap droid. Just, just something for it. But the triple alien
butt plugs.
Yeah.
The triple alien drums. I liked that because that see, unlike the first show, the first one we just watched, where it didn't really add anything new, at least at some point this was adding a few little new nuggets, like the new droid and the weird 3 drum person. I was like, oh, that's an interesting alien race. That's nice.
We're positive. The art and animation was all right. I mean, for the most
the
part.
art and animation was fine. It was just decent.
I didn't like Baby Jabba or whatever it was.
I actually really like the quality of the animation on this one. Out of a lot of them, this was actually really nicely well put together, especially the likes of Boba Fett and Jabba the Hutt. You could easily tell who they were. Even I can't remember. I don't know the character's name. It's one of Jabba's servants, the weird guy that has like a slug for a neck. Yeah. Again, you could easily identify who that was if you knew the Star Wars canon, just not by name. So I really did think that the animation and the art style was excellent for this. The turning the microphone into the lightsaber into a microphone. What the fuck was that about? That's the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Actually, no, this isn't the dumbest shit I've seen, because I saw one of the later ones, but that was really dumb. And honestly, the English dub singing
really bad
for Disney, that was appalling.
Yeah.
What? Oh yeah. Like,
it was so cringe.
Fuck my ears, Christ. Like,
that was a budget. That was done on a budget.
Oh no, you don't know who they actually fucking hired to do that, do you? I'll go over that later.
Okay.
But jeez, like, was there any other points that I really... Right, so the only other point I really want to highlight, which I think just needs reiterating, is although this story felt so heavily set in the Star Wars mythos or world set, universe, narrative, whatever you want to pick, whatever word, it felt about as Star Wars as X Factor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It just, to me, there's no part of this that fit in any capacity. I was really disappointed.
It's just, I mean, aside from the art style and the animation, it's just a disappointment on every level, from story to characters to action. Well, I guess the action's all right, but
no. I'm gonna stop you there. No, the action was not all right, right? Because the action was as detailed and effective as the action you would see on a Disney Channel cartoon, right?
All right, yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't none of this felt like it was actually anime.
That's a good way to, this feels like a Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah, that's the thing. It doesn't feel like there's any anime energy behind this episode, right?
Aside don't get me wrong. The whole band singing a song thing, maybe. Maybe.
Please name me an anime that has a band sing like that so dull.
Yeah. Right? The song itself is bad. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, even if it is in the original Japanese, right? In a lot of anime that involves singing, there is a lot more theatrics to it, right? This was force jump. The end.
Yeah. Baby Jabba kind of bounces a little bit while he's playing his guitar, and he smiles kind of because people are cheering. Yay!
Yeah. I think for a lot of people, this is considered the worst of the lot.
I can believe it.
I wouldn't call this the worst by far. It's just inoffensive and just nothing really special. That I don't know what their vision was, but their vision was rather weak.
Okay,
That's what I want to say.
I think one thing we'll actually do at the end is talk about which was our favourite and which was our least favourite or most hated.
Yeah.
Right, should we move on to the third one now?
Yeah.
Cool. So the third one is the twins.
Done by Studio Trigger, who's done so many things.
Right,
so many things.
The twins. Where to start with this one? Well, from one that doesn't feel very anime-esque to one that is just oozing in anime-esque stuff. It is just literally, okay, so we got some anime, we put it in the blender, and then we just poured it all over your Star Wars mold. And there you go, that's how you make a Star Wars show. But at the same time, this show is a mess. It does not know what this reminds me, right? This was what I would say from like the 70s or 80s when foreign TV was like, not everything was dominated by media-wise by the English language, and so you'd get weird shows done in different languages as their own little studios produce things for their country, which are never intended to be translated out of it. But they'll somehow get their hands on a footage from some other show from another country, and they're like, God, we should do that.
They did that. One of my personal favorites is Space Mutiny. They took footage from the old Battlestar Galactica and used it to make. It's so bad. It's so good.
That's what this feels like. Yeah. This show does not know what Star Wars is. It knows what anime is. Oh, does it know what anime is? But it's like, right, okay, and then. So this isn't Star Wars stickers. This is like somebody who's staring from somebody who's watched the original trilogy by standing out in the rain at someone else's house, looking in through the window. This is what this is, and then trying to go home and repeat that. I don't know what this show wanted to be. So the story of it is this is not in canon. There is no way this is in canon because they like.
There's a canon.
There is a canon.
You've got. There's the cannon. I'll get to that cannon. That diagram, that cannon is ridiculous. So what we've got is we've got two twins, and they were made But in the diagram, it looks like they were made by droids, but apparently they were made by the dark side. Actual story of this is that the dark side is actually this is the secret story, is actually just droids. This is the AI invasion. Is actually the dark side. That's actually what this story is. That'd be really interesting, actually. And I could see this show would do that. This show would totally do that, as that the dark side is droids. Anyway, so the dark side made these two twins to be like some sort of focus nexus of the dark powers or whatever, and then combined with some sort of super crystal, they can release a hell of a lot of energy. They then also have robotic, awesome mech power body suits, which are also linked to this same sort of energy channeling whatever. And then also, seeing as the creators had the cliff notes of what's in Star Wars, they're like, oh yeah, so it's gonna have a big gun. Yeah, so this thing powers a big gun. And then they were like, what's a Death Star and a Star Destroyer? Okay, well, they're ships. Okay, so but one's an egg. I don't know. We'll throw away the Death Star and we'll just slap two Star Destroyers together because they're twins.
It's a Death Destroyer.
It's the Death Destroyer.
Yep.
Death Star. Star Death. That's what it is. It's Star Death. That's what it is. Anyway, so these two twins.
Why would you build it like that?
I don't know why they built it like that.
Because they're twins. Because it's twins. Sorry,
twins.
Well, clearly the dark side wanted them to hold hands the entire time.
Yeah, again, see, the thing with twins, again, is what I mean of somebody who literally watched the entire original trilogy from a window, and they're like, oh yeah, Luke and Leia are twins or something. Okay, we'll have that in there, we'll throw that in there. So you got these two twins, and they're supposed to be powering up this giant super space cannon as a test. But then there's a boy and a girl in part of the twins. The boy then seems to gain a conscience or has a vision that if they use this device, his sister will die or something. So he wants to save his sister by stealing the crystal. He then goes down to in the Star Death, or the whatever you want to call this bloody ship that's combined together, goes down to the hangar bay. There's an X-wing. Why is there an X-wing on an Imperial, what's supposed to be an Imperial ship? I have no idea. What ships do the good guys have? Because the bad guys seem to have X-wings and TIE fighters.
Yeah.
Don't get why that's there, but it's just because it's Star Wars. That's the only reason that thing is there. So then he gets in that, and anyway, his sister's like, nah, you ain't stealing my crystal. I'm going to have my crystal and be like all evil and stuff. And he's like, no, not we must be good. He's like, no, but I don't want to use a crystal because I want you, because you're my sister and I love you. And it's like, okay. But then his vision comes true anyway, and he should be like, oh, wait. So me taking the crystal actually is what caused this? Maybe I should just not pay attention to my visions, because the vision of the suit going, is just going, was actually happens, which meant him betraying his sister and stealing the crystal was what meant to happen. And maybe if he just put the crystal back in the big gun, his sister wouldn't be at any risk. And that's the thing that gets me. So they were going to test the big gun, right? But it's hard to say because I don't know if it's a translation error. They're wearing super cyber suits which channel the energy, but the diagram which keeps popping up does seem to point out that, oh, there they are, the droids making them. There you go, that's the evil droids. There you go. It seems to point out that the big gun requires the two people plugged in, but then they sit on the bridge of the different ships when they were going to shoot the guns. So I'm like, is that linked? I don't know. Anyway, then after that point, stupidity ensues outside when they fight in space.
Yeah.
They fight in space.
Hold on. I do want to, just to clarify, so after the hangar scene, it then goes to the space scene before any of the vision stuff comes to light. You know, I kind of...
Well, I'm not going to go with order. It's just insane, this show. Like, the motivations of the boy, I don't care. Anyway, so he gets his X-wing, he starts to blow up stuff and everything, and then they get at this point where she's like, I thought, okay, well, maybe if they're wearing their cool suits, they can fight out in space. And then he's not wearing a helmet, then she's not wearing a helmet, and it's like, we're still in space here, people. It just doesn't care. The show doesn't care. It's like...
It's fine, because Leia showed us that it's okay.
No, this is using Last Jedi physics, where gravity applies in space.
Leia showed us that it's alright.
There's air in space.
And then at about this point, the person who's watching from outside the window watching this, the people inside the house just turn Dragon Ball Z on for a bit. So the show decided to become Dragon Ball Z before they swap back to Star Wars to finish it off. Oh my god. Oh no, sorry. Then they flip back to the bloody Last Jedi and ruin Lightspeed some more because we got to include that in there for some stupid reason.
Yeah.
Oh god, we Lightspeed Dragon Ball Z'd up the sword. I'm gonna say lightsaber, but it was rubbish, and then what is a mess. And then that's it. And then there you go.
I could see him using his sword to cut through an X-wing or something, or I'm sorry, a TIE fighter or something.
Planet.
But no, he cuts through the entire goddamn ship.
But not his sister.
Huge Star Destroyer, and he just slices it right in half.
He doesn't slice his sister in half. She just suffocates. It's fine.
She doesn't even do that. The
he breaks the crystal.
saves her.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because at the very end he says he can feel his twin out there somewhere.
Wait, hold on. Doesn't the evil droid actually have like a helmet on, like as if it needs air to survive?
I thought it was in a bubble or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it was stupid. Anyway,
it's full. It's just full of references too, from the fact, like you said, from the fact that they're twins to the boy being dressed like Han when his suit comes off.
Yeah.
To the whole, where are you going to take the crystal? To a galaxy far, far away. I mean, it was they didn't know what Star Wars was. They just had references.
It's like they took drugs or drunk their way through the original trilogy and then mashed it to what they remembered.
Do you think that they actually went, hey, do you know what's a good idea? Let's take screenshots of like random bits, like at different timestamps throughout Star Wars, right? And then try and make a coherent story.
Is this a drinking game? They just roll a dice and then drink, and then they have to fast forward to that point and be like, right.
I almost want to recommend it just because of how crazy it's super anime. I mean, it is like 10 billion% anime. But
no, see,
don't expect to actually enjoy the story. There is no story. Just watch the visuals and let them wash over you, and you know.
This is the other extreme. Is this Star Wars anymore?
It's a good question, isn't it? Right. Nasuth, do you want to make any points before I say anything?
No, I think that's really it. It's just all the stupid references and the insane the vision. Okay, I do actually want to say one more thing. I think it would have been better if the boy hadn't turned good from the vision. I think it would have been better if he's jealous of he doesn't want his sister to die. He's jealously holding on to her. So his motivations are still bad, but he does still want to help stop. That would have made it at least a little better to me.
See, they never want to do that kind of story. They never want to tell stories where there's not a good guy or a light side user in a Star Wars story. They never want to show you the many shades of grey that must exist within the Empire, which is huge. They always want to be like, oh yeah, this person's good now. Did either of you ever play Battlefront 2?
No.
Right, Battlefront 2
which Battlefront 2?
Star Wars Battlefront 2.
There's two Star Wars Battlefront 2.
The newer one. Okay,
cool.
Yeah.
Nah.
Right. That one starts off with a really interesting story. You are this imperial lady who was one of the Emperor's elite troopers. And after the Battle of Endor, you have to they're following some sort of the Emperor's plan to start doing things and such. And it's like, okay, there's cool stuff going on. Right? And it's like, oh, this is really cool. It's showing different sides of the Empire. They're not just all cackling evil people. You know, let's play a bad guy for once, you know, and shouldn't realize that there's bad and then there's bad. You know, there's something worse. No. Throughout the plot, you have to become a rebel and then you become a good guy. And it's like, you just can't help yourself. Why can't we have characters? The only things that do it are things like the Old Republic, the MMO, that let you play an Imperial character, and you could choose to be an evil Imperial character or a reasonable Imperial character. You know, it was up to you. They never do this. It always has to be like, it's like in this. So this twin is evil. As soon as they become good, they're riding in an X-wing.
Because they got to restore balance to the Force, you see. You know,
they push reroll.
That's another Star Wars thing that they heard and put in there. They've got to restore balance to the Force.
Balance to the Force, they're good now. And then they got so they have to have an X-wing, they have to have a droid, and they have to wear Han's clothes.
That's part of why I want to know more about the guy in the Duel, because he is clearly a dark user who is living in that shade of gray area.
No, but it won't be. What it'll actually be is it'll be a Jedi who's been banished from the Order because the Order was killed or whatever, and he uses red crystals because he kills other Sith to get crystals, so he's forced to use red crystals because his own crystals is broken. That's what it'll be. They can't have a nuanced bad guy. be an anti-hero or just anything. It will be something like that. That's why he's got like 7 crystals. He's like, oh, I got enough power in my lightsaber. Here, you have one. That's it. It'll be that, because I think it mentions Ronin, or the word Ronin, or it's about Ronin. So that's what it is. It is a Jedi. He's not a Sith. He's a Jedi who's just using red crystals. It's always the same. They cannot do a story with just the entire faction being the Empire without them being big cackling Saturday morning evil villain bad.
I think you're giving the first one way too much credit, because I really just think they don't actually go that far into Star Wars. They don't tread nearly as much ground for that.
That's true.
So
right,
but
time
anyway,
to unleash the Xeno.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So you guys covered the majority of what I was going to say. They cranked this up to 11 when it came to the anime. I love the animation. I love the fact that when she's force deflecting somehow the blasts from the X-wing, they sort of like wiggle around this sphere and then shoot off and destroy the 2 ATSTs. I thought that was brilliant. But I've got to say that this short felt like it suffered so horrendously from tell, don't show, just because of the limited amount of time. Well, like, there was one part where the brother is on the nose of the X-wing in space, and he just gives out some exposition, and it's just like, I think he's basically, the Kyber crystal is consuming her. What shall we do? And it's just like, yeah, we can fucking see that. Why are you fucking spelling out? We're not stupid, right? Just fucking do so. And it felt like, do you remember like the old piss take American stuff for anime, where it's just like, I cannot believe he was secretly my father this time. It's like, it just felt like that. This doesn't reflect anime of today in the slightest. They don't have weird exposition dialogues, internal monologues, sure, but not verbal dialogues with themselves. It's like, what the hell? That felt like too heavily influenced by the Western audience, right? It felt that they were trying to push it down that route. If they had more time, I felt that they could have really flushed this out hell of a lot more time. I mean, like, the duration of the episode. Again, this one was hella short as well, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, should we move on to the next one?
Yeah.
Cool. Right, so the next one is The Village Bride. So I sound so enthusiastic. This is actually my favorite short. It shows a different side to the galaxy far, far away, where non-native spacefaring people are troubled by the spillage of interstellar war. Right? Effectively, you have a Jedi and dude with hat.
Old man with sniper and 1 round.
He has more than 1 round. But regardless...
Yeah, it's like 3 or 4.
Quite a bit. He has more than 1 helmet. But anyway,
yes,
so basically, they are exploring this world that has been troubled by, I want to say bandits. They're more than bandits. Effectively, this syndicate that has taken over excess battle droids that were left after the Clone War, which kind of makes no sense at one point in time, because there's a random scout droid.
Yeah, probe
droid, thank you. That is canon from later on in the series, but who cares, right? So Loz cares. But but the big thing is, you have this Jedi, and she is exploring and experiencing this culture that has a different way of looking at things like the Force. And the nice thing is that this narrative is showing you effectively the last days of the village chief's daughter and her husband, where effectively they are, please interject if I'm getting this wrong, they are sacrificing themselves, they're giving themselves up as offerings to our bad guy, which is seen here, so they leave the village alone. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And effectively, the younger sister doesn't like the fact that they're bowing down to the syndicate, and ultimately the sister tries to rebel. The syndicate is like, haha, I'm too evil to take any of your bullshit, and tries to kill the younger sister. Is it the younger sister or the older the
younger
older
sister?
It is the younger sister. Yeah. However, the Jedi, who's just observing things, who doesn't want to get involved, actually steps up and stops the syndicate from getting involved. It's kind of hinted. No, it's not shown at all. It's hinted that the Jedi has a bit of a troubled past. I kind of dislike the fact that she's hiding her face from as if she's been horrendously disfigured, but she's got a little scratch.
Yeah.
Well, so so she's a Padawan.
Is she a Padawan?
Yes. So the braid she chops off is a Padawan braid.
She chops off her braid?
Yes.
Well, apologies, I've forgotten that. When did that happen?
Before she becomes awesome.
Right, yeah, right before she finally decided to step in.
Yeah,
right.
So it kind of fits, right? So I don't know how long this probe droid is or whatever, the stuff that I was saying with that with time-wise, but so it kind of could fit canonically in between the Return of the Jedi, Revenge of the Sith and Star Wars A New Hope, if you want to call it that. So somewhere in between there. So you've got these remnants of
masterless Jedi, essentially.
Yes. She's just a Padawan who lost her master. And so she's just hiding out, and obviously she's now grown up, but just hiding out as much as possible. So she's hiding her face, and literally there's like just some cool little lines. I mean, that's why probe droids obviously are good for finding. The Empire loves sending out probe droids everywhere. Just one probe droid to a planet, and then they can leave it, and it'll keep searching. So that's why you see this probe droid on this clearly. Which indicates this is a remote planet, which makes sense. But the probe droid does look a bit too old. It looks like it's ancient, but they got the battle droids there. They look like in working order as if they were built yesterday. So I'm a bit like, maybe if we saw a few of the battle droids in a bit of junk state, that would have been made a bit more sense. But so it can make sense that maybe we're on the fringes of the universe. The
galaxy.
The galaxy, yeah, and we're on the outer edges. And then, so there's just, the Empire's reach is rather limited out here. That he does give a line at the start. That's the weird man with the hat says something like, the Empire's eyes. This is, far from the Empire's eyes, or something like that, which kind of makes sense because obviously they could, facial recognition might pick her up or something. But also, yes, that's why she's hiding her face. Yeah, so that makes sense. It was good. It's good. Yeah, I like that.
I personally felt that this was the best balance of Star Wars and anime to get the best result. I want to see this episode expanded out into either an episodic series like Cowboy Bebop or something more traditional as a series with an overarching plot. I honestly felt this is the best episode out of the 9. Loz. Or Nasuth.
It's definitely top 3 for me, but yeah, it's very good. I do have a few issues with it that, like, at the start, there's just random points, mainly relating to Old Man. I don't think Old Man was fully realised, but again, maybe if it was a series, I wouldn't know if this would be the start of the series and then we go off following the new Jedi, or if it would be a bit more prequely to explain her past and things, maybe. But he's walking around, it's like, and she says, "Have you finished exploring this planet?" Dude looks like he's just walking around looking for buried gold with his water finders, like he's lost in a thing. Just like, what is he doing? I don't know. He's got his helmet on a stick, which he uses as an explosive, and then just gets another helmet out of somewhere. I'm like, okay, fine. At the end, he's still got another helmet. I liked the anime. This felt like it was So this felt like adults sat down, read some Star Wars, then went, right, okay. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put a setting on a planet, and then we're gonna just tell it in the way that we would tell an anime story. There were things which weren't explained at all. Like here on the screen now, we've got these almost like the Force revealed the past of the two who approached this giant Force stone or something, and this like big energy area exploded from the pillar.
Yeah, so it was part of the marriage ritual because he had to carry her on his back because she wasn't to get her feet dirty as part of the ritual.
Right, but why? But what? Okay, right.
Because
I might not be.
They have a connection to the planet, and the planet is part of the Force. And
Yeah,
so
that's the thing I liked, is that this was dropping little tidbits that weren't fully explained, but fit within the Star Wars universe and stuff. No, did they build those giant rocks? Were they just there on the planet? Why did the giant rocks respond to people who like, hey, rock, we're gonna get married now. Show us the past. And rock's like, oh, yeah, you played in here when you were kids. Like, what rock? Why are you?
I mean, there are certain places that are like strong in the Force, so it might just be naturally occurring one of those.
I liked it because it was almost like that they were using the rock because they could make it do a thing, but they didn't build the rock, or the rock did that, and they just made that I think, marriage rights. And it was just like, but the rock's just like, I do thing now, it's just that because that's what it is. Like, and it almost like they were misconfusing what it was for, or using it not for its intended purpose. And I love that because it made me want to ask questions about this village. How are they surviving? What else is on this planet? What is this planet since the Force? And it fit within the Star Wars universe. This could be a hidden Force sanctuary for ancient Jedi, and that's just one of their meditation stones where they reflect upon their own history. But when just random people use it, they see. Anytime they visited the stones, obviously when they were kids, they played in the runoff of the water, and that just gets shown to them. You see, and I love that you can like, what's going on there? That's really interesting. So this made me want to ask questions. Same time, it wasn't slapping you in the face with Star Wars stickers, and it was adding. I felt this actually added to the Star Wars universe. I feel like you could have an entire movie series, like Xeno was saying, following a series, and it would fit between the Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. You could have an entire. This could be the start of an entire show within that region. It was really good. I liked it.
Yeah. So the first time I watched this, I actually made I have a slightly different interpretation of maybe parts of the story, but the first time I watched it, I made some really bad assumptions. The first, I thought the two of them were anthropologists for the Empire, just on the way they started talking in the beginning and the way they were watching this ritual. And then I decided that they are both Force users who were former Sith, but no longer want to be. Obviously, all that is wrong. None of that is true. In actuality, what I think is the girl lost her master, probably to a Sith, and is now questioning whether she wants to even be...
it's probably not to a Sith. It's probably just to Order 66?
Yeah, probably that, yeah. But she's questioning if she even wants to use the Force or be a Jedi or any of that. And the man is definitely like a former soldier, probably not a clone. And he wants her to go down that path, to be like her master. And that's why he brings her here to see all this.
I do actually feel that it was him trying to align her back to the way of the Force,
exactly,
back to the path of a Jedi, even though he was not a Jedi or Jedi Master or anything.
He's just a soldier or like a sniper for the Imperial Army. It would have been the Republic Army.
I got the feeling that he knew her master, and he's doing this out of some sort of respect to him.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I could totally believe that as well. And I think that is one shortcoming of this short. Well, even though this was one of the long ones, was the fact that you want to learn more about it, but you can't because it is just a one-off thing.
Yeah,
you want to know more about him.
It also had extremely good music. The art is obviously amazing. The animation is smooth. I don't like that the ship is basically another version of the Falcon. That kind of bothered me.
I didn't mind that too much. One thing I thought was a bit silly were actually her shoes. Like it felt like too imperial, too mechanical, too like. Yeah, they're nice. They're nice high heel shoes. I could never envision at any point in time a Jedi ever wearing those. Right? Her lightsaber. That was something I had a little like. It kind of bugs me, but at the same time, I'm like, nope, look past it. This is a great shot. Just keep going. Just focus.
What was wrong with her lightsaber? I got confused all the lightsabers.
It was another one of the katana lightsabers, so it was a thin blade. Like,
I don't mind those. I don't mind those really.
In some
Because
depictions, I don't mind.
There's so many
them.
different styles of lightsaber already.
Yeah, fucking
There
fancy.
isn't.
Yeah, well, no, it's more handle than anything else.
There's
Yeah.
a little bit with handle, and that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but so with the katana blade, I don't mind it too much, but the whole yellow thing, it kind of tried to drive more flair into the lightsaber than I felt was necessary. I would have been more happy if she just had a standard blue lightsaber.
Mm.
You know, because it felt like
I
we
would
are
have been happy
still
if-
trying to be grounded.
I would have been happy if she'd stayed a gray user, but was good, but was like, I'm not a Jedi. I'm just good.
You should say Force user. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what we've got here on screen, this is what I'll point out. Compared to the first episode, this felt like a village living in a universe in which
Yes.
droids existed, and
Yeah.
they didn't have all the technology, but they existed with it being part of their sphere of influence. So sometimes they had, some droids were working. They still lived in huts, though. It just felt like it worked more seamlessly. This felt more real for the universe compared to the first one, which was just like you've just pulled a samurai village out of a samurai show and slapped stickers all over
a
it.
lot of these feel like the creator had another idea and then just fit it into Star Wars. This one feels like it's wholly meant to be a Star Wars thing.
Yeah.
As I said, my favorite of the lot, but I think we should move on to the next one. Are you guys all ready for that?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So this is number 5, the 9th Jedi.
Please don't break my heart, Loz. Please don't break my heart.
Yeah, Loz.
Okay. What's your heart on this one before I go into this one?
No, you say, Loz. You
Okay,
intro
fine.
it.
I
You
will
wanted this
say
one.
This was my favorite of the whole
Yes!
lot.
There you go.
This one was brilliant.
Yes.
This one was brilliant. This is the other show. So I would, and actually no, the other one would be a toss up. The what was the other one called? The Bride.
Village Bride. Yeah, that one's
The Village Bride. That was
so
the second,
good.
I think. Oh no, it maybe joints. That one that was good. It was good. But this one is my favorite because this one felt. So first of all, I want to say this is an Elseworld story. I think is the right way to do it. So this is where they've looked at Star Wars. They've looked at what makes Star Wars, and then they haven't put it in the Star Wars universe. They've made their own mirror Star Wars universe that is very similar, but it just allows them to be a bit more free of some of the larger constraints. So they don't have to have the Empire. They don't have to have the Republic. They can do other things, but they can explore the same concepts. And that's what they've done here. So we've got lightsabers, we've got Force users, we've got technology, we've got space travel, we've got floating temples around planets. It's cool. It feels Star Wars. But then it's definitely not in the main universe. So it's built its own universe. And in that universe, from my understanding, there's been wars and things as normal because it's Star Wars. And we're down to a handful of Force users. But those Force users, a little bit of a twist on going from the main canon, because normally in the main canon, they just sort of learn how to make their own lightsaber. It's part of becoming a full Force user. In this, the ability to make a lightsaber is a very rare skill, which feels it's okay. I'm okay with that because it makes sense. Because I don't know how you would make a special cool sword that cuts through just about anything. Yeah, it would probably need to be done by someone whose job it is to make very deadly swords that cut through just about anything. And that's what we've got here. So what we've got here is starts off around a planet where there is a floating temple, which looks really cool. And you've got some people landing there, and they've all been
further back than that.
Okay.
The setting of. You didn't say anything about the Sith taking control, had you?
Oh, I can't remember the thing of it about how it worked. Did the Sith take over or the?
Yeah, the Sith had taken over.
Yeah.
Right. And the Jedi had pretty much dwindled to nothing.
Yeah.
Lightsabers just basically didn't exist anymore. They were all destroyed.
They'd forgotten. Yeah.
Making them is illegal.
Yeah.
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 However,
so even the Sith didn't have lightsabers, really.
Yeah. Well, as far as we understand that, yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense from what happens later. Yeah.
And then, one guy, one Darth Vader motherfucker, and turns around and says, "If you are a Jedi, come to this place.
Yeah.
I will give you a lightsaber."
So he sends out a summons for like Jedi to come and get
which
lightsabers.
seems like an obvious trap.
Yeah, but also it's like he's trying to save the universe from the evil Sith or whatever, the Jedi. And then we cut to these people arriving, and they're all waiting for these lightsabers to turn up because it actually pays respect to what a lightsaber was, and it does some interesting things with what a lightsaber is. We then cut down to the planet where we have the last. It doesn't say he's the last, but we've got a saber smith, and he's making some sabers because this person who owns the planet and clearly the floating thing on the floating temple, and also it was the same person who sent out the summons. He's been ordered to make lightsabers, or several lightsabers, and so he does. He's also got his daughter. Is it adopted daughter or his daughter?
I think it's just his daughter.
I think it is his daughter.
His daughter. Yeah, his daughter. So his daughter, who is in my opinion, main character-esque person that we follow through for most of the story. And it does a really interesting thing with lightsabers, which I thought is like, good. This is trying to do something different, something new, adding to a Star Wars concept, where lightsabers become a sort of emotive device, where if you're with the light, they become one color. If you're with the dark side of the Force, they become another color. And if you're still growing and undetermined, they sort of have a neutral color, which in a few of the shots you'll see here. And then as time goes by, some anti. I'm not even sure if it's from the Sith. It's like some anti-saber people turn up to stop the sabersmith. And obviously, from what we can... Do we see them die? Do we see? Does it explode?
No, he commits suicide. Sorry, he tells the daughter
to run with the lightsabers.
Yeah, take these lightsabers and run. He kills himself to try and take out the bad dudes.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He just kills himself.
Yeah.
And then she speeds away on a speeder bike, and one of the bad guys follows suit.
Yeah, no dads are allowed to live in Star Wars. It's a shame. So we've got to continue that trope as well. Anyway, so yeah, they continue.
Uncles just as much as a problem.
Oh yeah, well, just all men basically. Anyway, so she flees from these people chasing her, the anti-saber league or whatever. And then I love this droid. She has to find a droid.
It's a really good chase scene, though. Like it's a
great chase scene. Yeah.
Oh.
But then so she has to go find somebody who she knows can get her up to this floating temple, so she can hand over lightsabers to the Force users. And just even seeing these robots, she has to talk to these droids, like really old, and only one of them's working, and he says he's on his break, and I'm like, yes, this is cool Star Wars. He's having his cup of tea or whatever. All right, he takes her up to the place. So obviously, while we're up there, the people in the floating temple waiting for their lightsabers to turn up, there is a droid with them, and the droid is like, yes, my master has brought you all here to give you lightsabers, and he has one lightsaber with him as an example to say, yes, we will have more, and so there's one lightsaber there. And I think this one boy picks it up and turns it on. It's like, oh yeah, so we know he's a good guy because he gets a good color. I can't remember if it's blue or green. And she turns up with all the lightsabers, and then all the Force users who have gathered there take them, and they turn them on, and loads of them all but one of them turn red.
Yes, this guy on the right here in the blue.
Yeah, the boy. He's the boy who turns on the first lightsaber.
Yeah, because immediately at first the robot only has one lightsaber.
Yes,
which is a gift from the Margrave, who was the guy that called them all.
Yeah,
and they kind of pass it around a bit, and then the boy gets it, and he turns it on, and it's blue.
Yes, so that none of the others turn up like, oh yeah, lightsaber. And he's also like, oh yeah, it's blue, yeah. Anyway, it turns out that the Margrave, also a Force user, was hiding inside the giant droid all along. And so a pretty cool battle ensues to try and kill the good guys.
The revelation of the bad guys is so good.
Yes, when they all turn on.
I have to ask you guys, did you see that coming? Because I didn't.
No, I kind of did. Okay, I knew it was a trap. Initially, I thought it was a trap for Jedi, and then I have in my notes something is. At first, I was like, I really love all these non-Jedi Force users.
Yeah.
So I didn't think they were Jedi. But then I said something is definitely very wrong, despite the reveal of the one functioning lightsaber.
Honestly,
so I knew something was coming.
I thought it was going to be the giant robot was just going to betray them and just kill them all. I
didn't know they were going to be Sith, but I knew something was wrong.
Yeah, I was expecting the Margrave to turn up and say, yes, I've given you lightsabers because I wanted the ultimate challenge and I will now fight you all. And I wanted to fight you all with lightsabers, so I had these lightsabers made. And this is a trap, and it's just so I could test my skill against as many as I could, because I was just I've got nothing else to do because I'm bored. I thought it was something along those lines. But then with the twist that the Margrave hiding in the evil-looking robot was actually the good guy, and then one of the young kid who turned on the lightsaber anyway, he was a good guy, and it did a really interesting thing, which I felt that you again, like with the Princess, I want to say Princess Bride. What was it again? The village
Village Bride.
Yeah.
Village Bride.
Princess Bride
like
works.
with that, we had you could. I feel you could make a show out of this one because it had an interesting setting with different stuff going on that's still being Star Wars. I felt this one was Star Wars,
and they have a goal at the end. They want to go out and I'm sorry, you're not actually there yet, are you?
Yes, not actually there. No, they had an interesting point where they killed most of the users, but then I think the Margrave turns and talks to one of them. He talks them down, and the guy's lightsaber changes color, and he said how he was swept up in the negative energy of the others. And I thought that was great because another thing of Star Wars, that a key point about the story is about family. It's one of the themes. You've got is redemption is a key theme of Star Wars, and this was I think the only one that really showed that element. And it, you might just think, oh, the guy turned, but it really quickly. But obviously, they didn't have much time to do it with.
No, he apparently was good at one point, which I think is great.
Yes, he was good. Yeah. But I think his lightsaber turns purple, and I was like, "Oh, that's really clever," because it's like closer to red, as if he's, that it's more not cut and dry. Who are the light side, the dark side, and you can easily move and shift between them. Like at the start, the girl has a. I was expecting her to be like all the others to be maybe Jedi, and her to get a red lightsaber, but it wouldn't. But I keep hoping for these stories where there's like a Sith, but a Sith isn't a bad person.
I want her to stay a gray user. I didn't want it to turn blue. I wanted her to stay that kind of translucent color. Red.
But her to be like, but I'm not evil. It's like, yeah, but not all Sith are evil. I just wanted that. I want them to tell that bloody story. None of them want to, though. Anyone who's red is just evil. But anyway, I thought it was cool the way that the lightsabers were a representation of the internal
moon rings.
Yeah, sort of moon rings. Yeah. So, but the person, he wasn't technically evil, but he was affected by the sort of the force energy of the evil surrounding him from the others. And obviously, he might be a weaker mental person, so he was. It absorbed him and overtook him almost. And I thought, it was like, wow,
maybe he's more emotional. Like maybe his force powers lie more in reading the emotions of others.
Yes, yeah, but you could do so much with that. I mean, that you have that is an aspect of their fighting where maybe he is quite powerful, but if he doesn't keep it in check, he does fall into his, the dark side of himself. That's why I thought it was so good. And so, yeah, overall, I really like the show. The animation felt really anime. It was really great.
Oh, it's so good.
Told an interesting story. It was Star Wars. It felt Star Wars the whole way through. And because it decided, we're going to take all those Star Wars concepts and like Redemption, which is a great one in there, but we're going to set it in our own universe. So we don't have to have Stormtroopers. We don't have to have.
See, I actually disagree with that. I think it could be in the Star Wars universe, just set way post prequel, like extremely, like 100 years post prequels or something.
Pre-prequels, you mean?
Post prequels. Well after the sequel trilogy. Sorry. I meant post sequels.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it can happen because basically the Star Wars universe gets to the point where you might think like, well, they've discovered everything, but technology sort of becomes forgotten about because it doesn't get, that's how the
Jedi can rise again, and then instead of the First Order or the Final Order or any of that bullshit, it's a different group that wipes them out.
The Order of the First.
But yeah, no stormtroopers in that case. It's something. It'd be something completely different. But I think it could be in this universe, just way outside of what we've seen, time-wise.
Cool. Do we? Are there any other points that Nasuth you want to raise?
No, sorry. I think I took the spotlight a little there. Do you have anything, Xeno?
Okay, so honestly, the only reason why this is my number 2 compared to The Village Bride, it's a really close call. Like some of the animation in this was just, it was just spot on. Like I loved the bit where the girl, she's on the speeder bike, she gets off and she's running against the ice, right? So like that whole scene I thought was fantastic. The reason why I didn't say this is number 1 is actually the reason why Loz said it was his number 1. I don't like the fact that it is separated so heavily from the original 9 movies in terms of narrative, right?
Okay, yeah, no, you go. You keep going.
That's honestly just my personal preference, right? Like, I didn't like the fact that the Sith were, they've dominated everything. Lightsabers have disappeared. We have to have a sabersmith make more lightsabers. Color influences, say your mood influences. Like, I wasn't a fan of that, but that is honestly the only reason this is in second and not first.
See, for me, the reason why I'm the opposite of that is a lot of Star Wars, in my opinion, at the moment, is stuck on the original trilogy. It can't. It always loops back to the original trilogy because that's what sells. Star Wars needs new innovation. It needs decent stuff added to it so it can expand out in other directions. If you look at other canon, other continuities of other fan bases and things, like you can see how new stuff keeps happening in them. But Star Wars, the prequels did okay, and that allowed you to go back all the way to the Old Republic and things, but it's just more of the same. Whereas this at least was trying to branch out into a few different things, different feels. And I think Star Wars needs this. This is the kind of vision of a different Star Wars that I would love to help rejuvenate Star Wars as a whole, instead of just relying on the original trilogy, which is what it just keeps doing.
Yeah, no, I completely get that.
Yeah, no, yeah. I think your points are good as well, but yeah.
I got one last thing.
Go on.
So they're on a pretty cold planet, it looks like. Lots of ice, lots of snow. She's on that speeder bike for quite a while, going pretty fast. I feel like her face should have some frostbite by the end of it. just saying,
Someone.
How do you know that the bike doesn't shoot warm air at her face? I have a fan on my VR helmet that's shooting cold air through it onto my face. And that's just on my VR helmet. So.
Oh, also, last point. These trebuchet fishing lines. They were brilliant. I love them. It was so stupid. I love them. Yep. Right, okay. So I think we'll move on to the next one.
Yep. Xeno's personal
Number
favorite.
6. Fuck off. Number 6.
Right, I'm going to say I haven't seen this the whole way through, so I'm going to leave it to you guys.
That's nice. TOB1.
ITO.
I hate this one. I hate this one the most. I cannot stand this one. This is personal preference. If you like this, good for you. Feel free to skip to episode 7. To just go into the timestamps, click on the chapters, whatever you want. I really hated this. Right? So I'm going to go through my notes. Honestly, this feels so removed from Star Wars. The only thing really tying it down to the franchise is just the lightsabers. Nothing else. Right? We have a robot that has more heart than the kid from Captain Planet. Right? This happy-go-lucky robot is like, oh, he's so happy. He's so happy. Oh, he's such a good boy. We have a Jedi Master who's doing biology, right? He's not like studying the ways of the Force. He's not in tune with the Force. He's actually performing science, right?
I see.
He wants to terraform the planet that they're on.
To be fair, they aren't. He's not supposed to show it, let anyone know he's a Jedi.
Fucking why?
Because the Sith are in control. I guess. Are they? I don't know. Actually, I don't know that.
The fucking professor with a monocle here, just like...
Is this not Professor Wily? Are we watching Mega Man? What is this?
No, it's like, this so feels like a cross between Mega Man and Astro Boy.
Yeah, it feels like such a callback to Astro Boy in a lot of ways.
It is an homage to Astro Boy, because the original... Oh, God, what's his name? The original creator of Astro Boy named Astro Boy Tobio, which it was the name of... I think I'm getting this correct. was Tobio, which was the name of the creator's son who passed away, right? So Toby is actually an homage to who is considered one of the founders, one of the fathers of modern day anime. So this is more of an homage than anything else. So one question I had very quickly was, they're on a barren planet and they're trying to grow life, right? Which begs the question, how has the professor not starved to death? Right? What the hell is he eating to sustain his life?
His own offspring.
He doesn't have it. That's his offspring there, the fucking robot.
He eats them.
Edible robots.
He's a breatharian. He lives on air.
Right. I will say that one of my notes was the color palette is on par with the research lab in Attack of the Clones. At least it doesn't have the same level of glare. Right. So one of the points is that Toby wants to become a Jedi, right? And he's trying really hard to become a Jedi, but the professor's always pushing him back. He's like, oh no, you can't be a Jedi. Being a Jedi is not good. It's no good for you. It's no good. So come take science. Science good, Jedi bad. And eventually the professor says, if you want to become a Jedi, you need to have a lightsaber, and to make a lightsaber, you need a kyber crystal. There is one kyber crystal on the planet, and Toby rushes around the whole fucking planet, where we had screenshots of him looking under rocks, looking frustrated, like, where can this kyber crystal be? Loz, do you want to hazard a guess where the kyber crystal is?
Is it inside him?
It's inside him!
I haven't seen it. I have not seen this, and I just guessed that off the top of my head.
Right, which then begs the question, when he took it out of himself, how is he still alive?
Maybe it's not powering him. Maybe it's just in him.
So what?
His whole purpose was like, I need somewhere to store my shit.
Yes. He built him to store. I had the kyber crystal, and
so he's just a walking chest of drawers.
Yeah.
Right? So the next question comes in: how did he not know that there was this kyber crystal rattling around inside him? Right? Okay. Honestly, this episode is so devoid of Star Wars.
Where does this guy come from?
That's a good question, Loz. Thank you for asking. We don't have a fucking clue.
No. So at one point, while Toby's looking around, one of the professor told him never go in the basement, and so he goes down in the basement finally while looking for this kyber crystal, and there is it looks kind of like an Imperial ship rather than anything else, like one of those Imperial shuttle things. And he goes in there and he's like, "Calling all Jedi!" and of course the Sith pick it up, and
that was it.
Yeah. So the kid dooms them all because they come here, kill his. The professor hides the kid away. He's like, "No, you have to stay here behind these rocks." And he goes out and gets killed.
Only if the professor had a lightsaber.
If only he had arms.
Oh my fucking god, right? But yeah, it's just like fucking, oh my god. And then fucking typical anime shenanigans. Toby combines with another robot to become Mecha Toby. He's a fucking robot anyway.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, why didn't you start with that?
They fuck up his leg, and so he can't run anymore. Arm.
Yeah.
Well, then I guess he doesn't even really need it.
Yeah, so somehow the Sith robot man stabs Toby in the hand, pinning him to the wall. I said that right. Pinning him to the wall with a lightsaber.
Yeah.
Lightsabers work.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, honestly, I did not enjoy this at all. I wanted it to be over. This hurt me. I was mentally abused watching this.
If this had nothing to do with Star Wars...
It has nothing to do with Star Wars!
Okay, if it wasn't trying to ostensibly have something to do with Star Wars, I think I could have liked it. I think I could have liked it. I think it's a cute idea of like, or a cute look at what makes a person a person. Can a robot be a person, etc., etc.?
You mean Astro Boy?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's yeah. Go watch Astro Boy instead. I wanted to like it, but it's definitely it's nowhere near canon. It looks at canon and says, "No, I don't need any of that. I just need some couple of little references here and there, and that's Star Wars enough." But
no, this sounds more like, oh, I see. So you enjoy Star Wars? Oh, I see. Have you heard about our good Lord Astro Boy? Would you like to improve the holy text?
Oh my god! So one of my like, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. I really don't. I like. Yeah.
I forgot to mention this the last couple of ones. So Village Bride was done by Kinema Citrus, which I've never heard of. Ninth Jedi was Production IG, which I'm pretty sure everyone's heard of.
Yep.
And this one was Science Saru, who did another one that I don't think any of us really liked. And yeah, I think that this is another case of they had an idea, they wanted to do an Astro Boy homage, and they just slapped a few little Star Wars trappings on.
Bits.
Sounds like they were hired. It's like, oh yeah, we'll do Star Wars Visions, and then Drake's like, no, I want to do Astro Boy Visions.
Yeah,
Astro Boy Visions.
It honestly, it feels like they had, our sprinkles, right? Ice cream sprinkles and things, and they got like they poured some out on their hand. They got one. They dropped it on. And that's enough Star Wars.
Threw the rest against the wall.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's cute. The art's fine. I know you don't like the color palette, but I think the art in general is fine. But it's just not. Go watch Astro Boy.
Right. Should we move on to the next one before we find yet more things to rag on this one about?
Indeed.
Right. So this one is number 7, The Elder. Loz.
Oh, is this one mine? Okay, cool. So this one, how long is this one? Do you know?
Oh, I think this was one of the longer ones, wasn't it?
No, I don't think.
I don't think it was.
I don't think it was.
Hang on, I can check. What number is this?
7.
7. It is 15 minutes, almost 16 minutes with credits and everything.
Minutes. So it's rather slow, this one, but I feel at the same time it's just gonna sit and do its story, its own little mini story, its own little mini, almost parable in its own time, a fable, fable almost. So what we've got is we've got 2 Jedi on a bit of a patrol out in the edges of the universe, and they're like, you've got a Padawan who's like, yeah, I want to fight stuff and be like epic and hero and cool, and you got like a master who's like, yeah, no. Yeah, no.
Sorry, Loz. That's too much emotion. It's more like, yeah, no.
Yeah. No.
No.
No. Yeah, he's very Qui-Gon.
Yeah,
just you wait for it, Nasuth. You wait for it. Keep going, Loz.
Okay, I can't. I don't know if I'm going to hit the point you want, but jump in.
You won't. You won't. I'll tell you.
Jump in. Okay, cool. Right. So, and I do believe they detect a signal. No. Why do they land on this
feeling
planet?
in the Force. It's the feeling in the Force.
Is it a feeling in the Force? They have a feeling in the Force. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I have a feeling in the Force. When I eat the wrong food and then I need to go visit the toilet. But I don't go land on planets for the feelings in the Force. But anyway, they decide to feel in the Force. Now, the Force, this is a whole planet, and somehow they decide they know exactly where they need to land on a planet. And they do, and there's reasons why they could say why they landed there, like they find some Sith ship. But no, they just decide, there's a good village here, it's got good food, we go land there, and they land it there. And then the master and the apprentice, the Padawan, come out. And then they literally just basically decide, let's split up to cover more ground. Which is stupid. And then, so the Padawan goes out looking higher up in the hills or whatever, and then the master finds the Sith of our episode's ship. He's like, oh, there's a Sith ship here. Oh, that's really interesting. Yeah, a Sith ship. And then he's like, okay, I'll wait at the Sith ship.
Sorry, no.
It's in the old Sith design.
Loz,
yes.
Which looks a lot like the Imperial shuttles that they use later. I guess no one remembers that's a based on the Sith design.
Hold on. It goes, it's a Sith ship.
Sorry, I put too much energy. Yes. Oh, I guess I'll.
It's a Sith ship. We should look out for Sith.
But
They could be around.
he might be around here or something. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'll wait here at the Sith ship thing. You go up the mountains and don't get in.
No, too much emotion, Loz.
Whatever you do.
I'm gonna take a nap now. I'm very tired.
Don't get in trouble with the weird.
Just lay down for a minute.
Anyway,
There's animals on that mountain, and they're
belaboring the point.
big animals. And they've got big sharp teeth and things, and they're dangerous, man. Don't fight them.
They're very bad.
Yeah, so
That's what it's
the master has no energy at all. Anyway, so the Padawan goes up.
I say it now. I'm going to say it now. Sorry,
Okay,
that's good. That's right. Okay, so the master, right?
Yes.
The English dub of the master is played by David Harbour. Do you know who David Harbour is?
Nasuth.
No?
Loz, do you know who David Harbour is?
I do know who David Harbour is.
Please
Is
enlighten me.
it just because I told you?
Yes.
Right. David Harbour is Sheriff Hopper from Stranger Things. Right? He is the Red Guardian from Black Widow.
Yep.
Right? He gives his lines so woodenly. I cannot be sure.
Was he
That
on
this is
sleeping
either-
pills at the time?
I don't know. Maybe that's the third choice.
You know,
right?
I joked about him being like Qui-Gon. My summary of this episode was literally anti-Yoda versus Qui-Gon.
Right?
Because Qui-Gon acts like he is on sleeping pills the entire time. And so does this guy.
So like, I thought about this. Qui-Gon, right, from episode 1 of Star Wars, he's quite firm, right?
Stern.
He does portray,
Stern,
sure. But he does portray some form of emotion, right? Not a massive amount, but at least you could not replace him with a plank of wood. Liam Neeson does actually portray some form of emotion, especially when he gets stabbed, right?
Yeah.
Whereas when I found out who was acting him, I thought either he was directed to what you call it, you know, this is your direction, you gotta go with it, or Harbour basically saw the stills of the ad, like he's like, wait, is this genuinely how they animated him? I'm okay, fine. I mean,
you're supposed to be calm and at peace, and
yeah. I was just like, what? Yeah. But of course, you know, you could have hit the nail on the head there. They could have given him sleeping pills.
Yeah. Yep.
I was just completely taken aback who had actually played this guy.
Yep. I agree with that. It's just yeah. So obviously they said, play a wise Jedi Master who's deep in the knowledge of the Force and rather humble and plain. And he went, okay, that means I have to be real quiet and slow and not really do anything. Yeah. Anyway.
And the worst part is I liked everything else in this but him.
Yeah. Well, just him talking.
Yeah.
I liked the concept of him, and he was all right, master. So anyway, the student goes up into the mountains and finds one of these dangerous beasts that are indigenous to this planet, and gets attacked by the evil Yoda Sith man, who just likes to fight really, but he's past his prime and he's dying, so he's just finding somewhere to hide out at the end of the solar system. At the end of the universe. And simple story, then the master kills him, and then that's kind of it, and they say they go off. But the underlying theme I felt from the show is how the circle always turns. You start the episode with the Padawan who's desperate to prove himself in combat and wants to fight, you know, ancient legends and all this other stuff with a lightsaber and be a superhero. Then you've got the master who's kind of just like accepts it and is at his prime, you know, he's super strong really, you know, the Force just flows from him and is yeah.
I am one with the Force.
And then we have the decaying, in waning position of the old Sith.
But he's not a Sith.
Master.
Because he specifically says the Sith became obsessed with outsmarting the Jedi. He's not a Sith.
You could call him a dark side user.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the key point, is that like not all light side users have to be Jedi, and not all dark side users have to be Sith.
Yeah. That's one of the things I loved about this.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing I like to see, because it's just to boil it down for the lowest common denominator. Why the movies go Sith is bad, Jedi is good, so that people understand it.
He is still clearly bad. But like he wants, I think he wants an honorable death in combat.
He used to. Fighting was this is almost like the Padawan in the future. Fighting is what drove this dark side user, and he would even mentions that he'd love to have fought the Jedi Master when they were in their prime, but now they're waning, and they're looking to just end their combat and the thing they love the most, which is fighting. So they just almost suicide on Jedi, and they get killed. And it's showing. And then obviously from then onwards, the cycle moves on. So the Padawan is going to become the Master. This Jedi Master is going to become the decaying Elder, and probably get killed off by a Sith. And then the Master, the Padawan becomes the Master and has a new Padawan. So it's always showing how somewhat life keeps moving. And I did like that they were trying to go for that undertone. They were trying to fit a lot. They were going really slowly, mainly because of the voice acting. But this could fit easily in anywhere in Old Republic, or maybe even the prequels, and it didn't do anything silly. It felt like it was trying to tell something about how nothing's permanent, be one with the Force, and all this other stuff. So it was actually telling Star Wars stories and points without just slapping stickers over the top. So I kind of like this. This would probably be my third favorite.
Interestingly, this was also done by Trigger, who did the Twins. Completely different feel.
No, I swear this is Project IG.
It's Trigger.
No, are you sure?
Do you want to
Let's
pause
go
and
to
boot
the
up the
judges.
episode?
What are the judges? Let's move on to the judges. Judges going to test this one. Taking this one to the judges. Assessment of our results here.
Trigger presents The Elder.
Which was the other Project IG one?
I think that's... No, they didn't have a second one.
I swear they had a second one.
Nope.
Have I slipped into a mirror universe again? Clearly. Right.
Yeah, but it's such a different feel. It's crazy how different a feel this one is.
Well, they were trying to work on both, and when the other team came in and stole all the anime from this one and shoved it in the other show,
that's actually a good point.
We had a precious limited amount of anime left. Like, no, this is our left. This is all we've got left. We're having this, and so it still felt anime.
This one's very Star Wars, but it has like only a few really anime things in it.
Yeah.
I think the concept of the Elder that wants to die in an honorable fight is like a very anime sort of concept.
Is there anything else you want to touch upon, Nasuth?
Nope, I think that's it.
Cool. So I will agree. I do feel that the quality of this production, it was actually very on par with the movies. Like, it felt like I could so totally see this camera angle, this ship design, the sweeps, the screen wipes and things like this. It felt like it could just so easily fit anywhere in the Star Wars canon. I did feel that the reason why the two Jedi were separated felt a little forced, and I think that was literally due to a limitation in the duration. It felt like, oh, we need a reason for them to separate. Flip a coin. You now have to separate. The Force told us we have to separate. It still felt...
You mean the plot?
Yeah, sorry. Well, the plot's being forced. So, anyway, still feels more like telling than showing. There was so much standing. The weird bit with the kids. Anyway, I love the bit where... I love the actual Sith eyes. I'm pretty sure none of the other episodes actually had Sith with corrupted evil Sith eyes.
No. I think Lop and Ocho might?
Nope.
No, you're right.
If the kids were part of that story though of Cycle and Rebirth, that they saw another young person, they were responding to him. They didn't respond to the master, and obviously in the future, what might become the Padawans of the future is what it was kind of hinting at,
But even so, the fighting choreography was excellently depicted. I thought it was incredible. Scenic shots lingered a little too much for me. It's just
I loved the way the rain hissed off of their sabers in this scene.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
I did feel that the end fight was a little cheap. It felt like, I wish you had taken some of that previous time allotted to, hey, look, a hillside, to actually expand it on the actual last fight.
I'm not a fan of his katana and lightsabers.
They have to talk like this for a while longer.
But Master,
well, I mean, it's not like you have to fucking animate anything with that.
And fight the bad dude.
Honestly, this episode felt the closest to Star Wars, right? But it didn't truly carry the same anime typically does.
This almost felt like a Western animation, yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, if a series of this caliber was created, I'd totally watch it. I still swear this was Project IG, not Studio Trigger. It does not feel Studio Trigger. I swear you went on that wiki article and edited it. Right.
You mean he edited his video that he showed?
I could totally envision him editing his video as well. Just we all know it's Comic Sans fault, Loz. That's classic. That's classic Nasuth. Right. I think we should move on to the next one, which is Lop and Ocho.
Yes, or as I called it, The Empire Comes to Japantown plus Bunny Girls. This is Studio Xeno. I'm not, honestly, that name is familiar, but I'm not sure what they've done. But the story is essentially, there's this town.
Golden Kimway.
Well, who?
Golden Kimway. Have you not seen Golden Kimway?
No.
Fucking add that to your list, boy.
Okay. All right. Yes, sir.
Add it to the list.
Essentially, this is a tiny little backwards planet, and a backwoods planet, I should say. And the Empire comes here and starts helping them industrialize. The father of Lop and Ocho doesn't really like this. Like, he thinks they're doing bad things. They're gonna strip the planet bare, essentially. Ocho. So Ocho is his daughter, his real daughter, and Lop is an escaped Imperial slave that they took in and treat like a daughter. And when they're really young, the two girls are really close together. But now that they're adults and all this Empire stuff is really starting to pick up, there's a kind of a wedge being driven in between the family. She decides to betray her father, who doesn't want the Empire. Ocho decides to betray her father and join the Empire. And Lop is recruited by him to take the family heirloom, which is a lightsaber, and stop everything that's happening. Fighting ensues, and do they kill the sister? I don't actually remember.
No.
Nope.
No. She I think slashes the sister. The sister falls off the building, lands on top of a shuttle, and the shuttle leaves.
Takes off, and her father is blinded completely. And but it really does feel like a story about Japan's industrialization. This is another one where I think they had an idea and put Star Wars on it. The lightsaber could have been anything, like an old family sword. And they just put Star Wars stuff on this other story. But it is beautiful. I mean, it is gorgeous. Absolutely spectacular. I kept wondering why she pulls out this Saiyan Saiyan Scouter. She has this Saiyan Scouter that she keeps using, and it's not there for any other reason than to be anime, I think.
I can imagine if a director would be like, okay, I'm going to pick one thing that's anime and I'm getting this in my show. Saiyan Scouters.
You got themes of tradition versus progress and family and all this other stuff. It's maybe a touch on the trite side, but I liked it. It wasn't great, but I liked. I don't think it's really very Star Warsy, honestly. But yeah, honestly. But just like if it had been something else, I would have loved to see a full length movie.
Loz?
Xeno? Damn it. Right, okay. At first I was really liking this because I was hoping we would see more interactions with the Empire and normal people. And obviously we have this town of people, or this planet of people, and they're saying about how it's really nebulous. And I didn't realize, as you're saying, it's a very good analogy for the westernization of Japan is what this is aping at, I guess. But I wish we saw more because I do not understand the motivation of the daughter. From what I can tell, the daughter wanted to join the Empire because they have cool white coats. That is my understanding of her motivation. That's all I can take from it.
She thinks that their planet needs to join the rest of the galaxy, and this is the only way to do it.
What does she?
Yeah, but it doesn't really go into it. Why do they need it?
No,
what does that mean?
It's like I think it's that conversation in the car that they have, and that's basically all we get about it.
What? No, what conversation?
Dad, we should modernize, or the Empire will bring us stuff, and they're like, no, they won't. They'll steal our stuff.
Yeah.
No, they'll bring us stuff. And it's like,
but the polluted our planet is bad. No, but they're good, really, in charge.
This again, I feel this. I do feel this one could have actually been expanded out to make a show. Like we could have some episodes seeing the slums,
or a full-length movie or something.
We could see flashbacks to Thingy as a kid, and we could see what was she doing for the Empire? What are the Empire taking out of the planet? What is the town getting back from it? I imagine the town might be getting things like medicines and things. It's like that's just because the Empire are like, well, slaves, we need to make sure the workforce doesn't, like a disease could break out in the town, and the Empire could be like, well, they bring medicine to go and cure it, because it's like, well, we can't let this run through the population because we need them to be working. So it's like, it's a good thing done, might not be for what you would consider the best reasons, but they still do a good thing and save lives. And that's the kind of thing I was really hoping we get to see, that sort of nuance, and that sort of, it'd be interesting to see that low-level interaction of the Empire with normal people. But the girl just starts off as this like, oh yeah, they're like twins, they're like sisters, and they're behaving, and then she's like, I want to join the Empire, Dad, because they're cool. I don't like you, Dad. The Empire are like cool, and they're like evil, and they like give me white coats, and I love white coats.
This story,
why?
This story is too big for the time limit they have.
Yes. Yeah. There's so many elements in more depth. But one thing that I hate as time went on, this has, out of all of the things we've shown, the worst lightsaber out of all of the shows.
No, actually, I say this is the second worst, but yeah.
Okay, yes, a microphone is not a lightsaber. You make a fair point.
That's not the one I was referring to, but now it's
third worst now.
What was the one you were referring to?
Oh, it's the next one in the next episode. Pisses me off.
Oh, God, I've forgotten about that hot garbage mess that's coming up in a minute. Yeah, but I didn't like this lightsaber at all, because it's like, it is a sword. It's like a lightsaber when you get like in the last one, we had the bad guy who had the dark side user who had two lightsabers that sort of had little pointed edges towards the end. It's like, that was it. That's all those lightsabers did. So it's like, okay, a lightsaber does not need a cutting edge. Why? Because it cuts through anything. Why would it need a cutting edge? What advantage does that give you? Style, only style. It's just literally just E-peen. It's just, I don't get it. Oh, my lightsaber's got runes on it. Look at me. I've tweaked the focus emitter so it looks like it's got runes on it. Oh, well, mine's curved on one side. Okay, why? No, it's supposed to be this amazing simple weapon, almost like purity of annihilation and destruction.
Loz is being serious. There is actually writing on the blade of this lightsaber, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, for a second it sounded like you were trying to be overzealous, but no, they've actually I kind of wish I put a screenshot of it. I really wish I did.
Again, it goes back to the idea that this is a different story that they took. That's clearly just a family heirloom sword.
Yeah,
that they turned into a lightsaber.
How
Yeah,
the
again,
fuck do you edge writing on bloody light?
You don't.
no. I see what Nathan's trying to say is that literally this is just literally the modernization of Japan's story. So that's just a katana, and they just were like, okay, then we just exchange katana for lightsaber. And it's like that's a. I do feel that
they're telling a Japanese story through the lens of ostensibly the lens of Star Wars.
Yeah, and I feel that it does go a step further than just slapping the Star Wars stickers on. This actually it actually gets the paint out and actually starts painting some objects. It does not, but then it's like, then they just decide, they got most of the way there, and they did the good job with the stormtroopers and the Imperial stuff, and it's like, okay, it looks quite Star Warsy. And then they just set up a plinth in the middle and just put a load of shiny stickers for the bloody lightsaber. It's like, I despise that lightsaber.
I can't remember what was the. Hold on. Have either of you seen The Mandalorian?
Yes.
No.
Both seasons.
But I know what happens.
What was the metal that he used to make his armor? I can't remember what it's called.
Oh.
Star Wars fans.
God.
I'm just gonna call it vibranium. Fuck it. It's vibranium now. Right. So one thing I really had, Beskar. It's fucking Beskar armor, isn't it?
Yes,
right,
Beskar.
Okay. Sorry. In this, it always felt weird to me, the fact that the lightsaber wasn't just slicing through the steel-ish weapons that Ocho was wielding. It's like, no, lightsaber got. The only material that I know that a lightsaber doesn't just fly through is Beskar. Right?
Yeah.
I'm not a giant Star Wars super nerd like I claim to be, but honestly, like, it just felt weird that these weird electrified metal swords, not swords, but they were somehow keeping the lightsaber at bay.
There is a quite canonical, obviously it's not been in the movies, but it appears in multiple things called cortosis.
Yeah.
So for instance, in the Old Republic, how somebody could have a sword that could go up against a lightsaber is they have like a very thin amount of this cortosis stuff. And then later on, when you got the Empire can actually get enough of this stuff to make armor. So it's like armor that's resistant to lightsabers, but it's very, very rare stuff. So it's like you and then the next thing they do back in the Old Republic days is they'd also have the ability to do a vibro weapons.
Yeah.
So it's where it's a monofilament edge, and then it just vibrates one or two atoms left and right continuously. So if you're gonna try and build a weapon to beat a lightsaber or as close as you could, that would be what you do. So that's yes, you got cortosis, which is I'm not sure how canonical, but it's in multiple Star Wars stuff.
See, I just assumed that the red lightning meant that the Ocho is a Force user, but she's only strong enough. She's only strong enough to hold back the lightsaber from cutting through her blade.
I don't believe that. But anyway, I'm gonna blitz through my notes unless you guys have anything other.
No.
Cool.
Go for
it. Extremely well animated. I loved the quality of the animation on this. I fucking hated the noise that they overlaid over it. It pissed me off something chronic. Did you notice that staticky noise across the actual picture?
No.
I did. Pissed me off. The use of the shadows throughout the short was really great. It just, like, again, when they were driving on the bridge and the shadows would go over them, you rarely ever see that in anime. Again, really, really well done. Because, it's a lot of effort to do. The setting felt really on par with Star Wars, but still carries the same energy as most anime. Still suffers from tell, don't show. Again, too short. Oh god. Right. At the point that Loz raised where Ocho flips sides, right? It felt like the plot had jumped the shark. It was casually going 20 miles an hour and then jumped to light speed to suddenly advance the narrative. It just felt like, what the fuck just happened? Did I just get whiplash?
Gentlemen, I propose. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I propose when it's related to Star Wars, instead of jumping the shark, it's doing a holdo maneuver.
Done.
Pulling a holdo.
Pulling a holdo. There you go.
Holdo, right. The struggle between siblings isn't particularly original, but having the adopted sibling remain on the side of the family while the blood sister rebels is nice. I actually like that. You know, it's not the other way around. It's not original, but I still liked it. Right. After Ocho cuts ties with her family, it felt weird that she kept referring to her father as Papa and not dad or father. It felt so weird. Every time she spoke to her dad, it was Papa. Did neither of you feel that?
See, my take was that she still loved him, but she thinks that she's doing what's best.
Yeah.
I didn't get that take at all, because she was so callous to, like, I cut off my hair, I'm now wearing a cool white coat, I've bit the top of my thumb off, and I've put blood in my eyes, I'm cool now.
God, that bit was
cool
so
now,
weird.
Dad. Look how cool I am,
cool.
Dad.
Yeah, exactly.
Now.
Right.
Gonna ground me now, are you? I'm just trying to get attention. Yeah.
Papa.
Yeah,
Right.
so her motivation is what got me. I just do not understand it. It needed so much more fleshing out. Even just see more, like, if we got to see the change in plight of the lower people of the village or whatever,
and
that
we
could
see
in
was that one bombing. That's it.
Yeah, but it could be a little more. No, it wouldn't take much more. Just when she's running through as a kid, we could just focus on a few people and see what it's like for them then. And then we travel to the future, and then we see the same situations or the same areas where they would be, and we see how they are now. It's just like, it's not much, but it would give us context for, like, why they need to, why she wants white coats and blood painted eyes. Come join the Empire. We'll put
she didn't exactly look like she was living in squalor already at that point to begin with.
God,
No,
right. Now, before I move on to the 9th episode, I've just got to ask, Vegeta, what does the scouter say?
It's over 9,000!
Right, so moving on to
Out of
episode... moving on to episode 9, Akakiri.
This is the other Science Saru one, too.
Yeah. Right.
Oh.
I'm not a fan of this animation style. No. It felt very iconic, but it felt like it was trying to be more style than substance.
Yeah.
This one, I feel, suffers the most from tell, don't show.
Oh yeah. Oh, this is just telling us this out of the other.
Yeah, this was just like, what the fuck even? So the premise is, if I have a hope in hell of getting this right,
good luck.
Hobo
you
Jedi.
wanted this.
Yeah, because I want to fuck. Actually, no, I was stuck with this one.
You were stuck with this one, actually. Yeah.
Nobody wanted this one.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's fine. I got comprehensive notes. Anyway, so the whole point is,
what is up with that face?
I will start soon, right? So the plot is, Hobo Jedi crashes B-Wing, somehow survives. What? I'm not wrong.
Keep going. You're old. You started now. You did well.
Crashes B-Wing. Weird mask people turn up and rescue him. Turns out Princess has a crossbow, and that's important for some reason. And the Jedi has a tumor in his brain because he gets headaches. The princess father died.
Sorry, you forgot the princess is accompanied by 2 racial stereotypes.
I haven't got there yet.
Okay.
The princess father died because her weirdly differently raced sister,
Aztec aunt from
her Aztec aunt.
Empire. Yeah.
Yeah. Has killed her Japanese brother or some shit. Fuck knows, right? Japan. Japan. But Aztec sister, aunt, right? Okay. So, Hobo Jedi and Assassin Princess need to have Tweedledum and Tweedledee racial stereotypes.
Yep.
For some strange reason, journey across the journey to the west, journey to the east, journey to the west.
Well, if he just landed that B-wing, if he landed that B-wing instead of crashing it,
this
whole episode would have been a lot shorter.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, like, he's drunk at the time. It's fine. So he had a brain tumor. Yeah, pressing on his central nervous system and just crashed it. So Tweedledee and Tweedledum think ostriches are the best way forward, and singing. Everything is made faster with singing, right? No. They then have to go through some treacherous routes. What's the montage? Insert montage. Tweedle, Tweedledee. Yeah, Tweedledee has disappeared. So Hobo Jedi goes to find Tweedledee, whereas Tweedledum and Ninja Princess make it to their destination and decide to stay in an inn for some reason. Tweedledee and Hobo Jedi turn up, and now it's time to instigate a coup of 2 people.
Yes.
What the fuck were they going to achieve? I have no idea. So Tweedledee and Tweedledum dressed up as Ninja Princess and Hobo Jedi.
Somehow.
No. They send a flaming barrel of hay down the side of a mountain, and are mask-wielding, not stormtroopers, because they have too much colour, end up chasing disguised Tweedledee and Tweedledum. I mean, seriously, they could have just taken off the fucking disguises and then, they'd be fine, but fuck no. Right?
In reality, the guards were just worried about the risk of forest fires.
Anyway, insert flashback of when Hobo Jedi didn't have a brain tumor and Ninja Princess forgot the ninja part. Something. Now present. No, there's no dark side yet. Something. It's the present again. And Aztec Aunt has surrounded them. Hobo Jedi has another brain tumor attack. And Ninja Princess is kidnapped.
Yeah.
Hobo Jedi I forgot the whole fucking reason why Hobo Jedi turned up. He had a bad dream. Hobo Jedi.
Same bad dream.
Yeah, the Hobo Jedi then proceeds to drunkenly, apparently he had some booze at the time, kill some not stormtroopers and accidentally kills the disguised princess.
He randomly just kills one, which is like, even I could be like, wait, that one's not moving right. Its arms aren't moving.
The tumor.
Stabbing them.
The tumor. It was a tumor loss.
Tumor did it.
Right?
The tumor did it.
So he kills her. There's no sign of blood or, a giant burn mark or anything. I fucking can't afford that.
Giant hole in the chest.
I haven't even got to the sodding lightsaber yet. So he kills her. Then Aztec Aunt goes, something, dark side. They somehow, using the dark side, resurrect Stormtrooper Ninja Princess, because she was disguised, remember? Apparently that happened in all of the 2 seconds that she was kidnapped. I'm not kidding. It is literally like 2 fucking seconds. I'm not skipping anything. Like there's no huge passage of time or anything. It's just one thing after another. What?
Did they actually revive her? I just remember her promising.
Yeah. No. So they use the light power of Force healing as dark side, right? And then Hobo Jedi becomes Hobo Sith, and then they get on a spaceship and live
No.
happily ever after. I needed to fit that in. I just
The
wanted
last
to
point
put that
there is they get on the ancient hidden underground ships of the ancient aliens from the Aztecs and fly them in space.
Aztec aunt and Hobo Sith leave together while Ninja Princess is exceptionally confused.
It's like, wait, what the hell was the plot? This is almost like a comedy of errors theatre production where the whole point is the show's supposed to go wrong. At the end, she's like, what? But then,
honestly,
then when it's the coup of two and they like charge into the temple or charge into the palace or whatever, they literally just 2 seconds inside that they have a memory span of a goldfish. They're like, let's reminisce now. It's like, what? Why?
Yeah,
We've captured this place. No, you haven't. You've walked through a door. And
how long is this episode?
I think it's another 11-minute one. Let me.
Also, I think my webcam's acting super weird because somehow
a little bit. It's 12:59.
Let me just swap
my
webcam.
You are.
There we go. Matt. No more jiggle cam.
So yeah, just about 13 minutes.
Like, and
I swear they spend half of it on that journey in the wilderness.
Yeah.
I call this one After a Long Walk, a Good Man Goes Bad. That's all that happens.
Oh God, you're not wrong. Honestly.
And that's the only interesting part too, is the temptation, and it's not even that interesting because they don't have any time to explore it.
Yeah. So the big thing is when Hobo Jedi goes back to find Tweedledee, who's gone missing during their montage, he utters, "The future isn't set." Right? The future's not predetermined. Right? Yet the whole reason why he's having these headaches, these visions, is because he sees himself killing someone. And he's worried that the princess is in trouble. So that's like the whole reason that he thinks the princess. He doesn't realize because like the tumor's pressing on the optic nerve or something like that. Like, he can't get a clear picture. He just sees this fuzzy haze. He doesn't realize he is the one that actually kills the princess. Yeah? He doesn't even fucking see the stormtrooper mask or nothing. It's just a fucking blur. Right? And yeah, so that's his whole motivation. And basically, the future is predetermined. Wink. And just one message. Either the future is set or it's not. Don't fucking do a Terminator.
Yeah, we wasted all this time doing this journey. Yeah. I don't know why. What was it supposed to show us? Was it supposed to show us how bad the Sith were or something? Yeah. No, it doesn't. It doesn't tell us anything. And then at the end, it tries to fill in 3 episodes worth of plot happening in 2 minutes.
I say 6.
Literally, the only interesting thing was the temptation, and because you almost never see a Jedi turn into a Sith. It never happens outside of like Anakin.
So these are the notes I have. The narrative feels like it's trying to force the Japanese culture peg through the Star Wars-shaped hole. I understand what they tried to achieve, but it feels like it falls short because of the limited episode duration. Literally, the entire environment is so heavily influenced by Japanese culture.
Yeah.
They cannot explore any of it. It makes no sense that she has this Aztec aunt when everything else is fucking Japanese.
Why does she have a crossbow? Why is it?
Yeah, they've all got really primitive weapons apart from his bullshit lightsaber. His lightsaber has weird... Right, so in the prequel trilogy, George Lucas put this really big focus on if you wave the lightsaber fast enough, it creates this arcing travel. Yeah, so it's this weird sort of...
blur effect, yeah.
Yeah, this blur effect, right? So the blade looked like it got wider, right?
Yeah.
In this... the fucking blade has periodic after images. So it's like every 3rd second, it leaves an after image in the air. pissed me off to no end. It looked dumb. Why isn't it just a constant, like, it's like a imagine a sparkler. I don't know, do you call them sparklers in America?
Yeah.
Imagine having a sparkler, but it only leaves a trail in the air every 3rd second. It looked dumb, right? I don't care what other people say. It didn't look good. Right? The physics doesn't make any sense. Well, I'm ignoring that.
Yeah, Star Trek, right? I mean,
Star Wars and physics? No, sir. We're not going down that road.
Gravity.
Just look at our protagonist here. It's just like, oh god. And then look what is wrong with his neck? And why is one guy's neck as thick as the other, thicker than the other guy's arms?
I'll give them. I will give them credit for trying something brave with the animation, but no sir, not for me. This is like one of those French art animations that you see sometimes, like on the Canadian Film Board.
Alien human hybrids.
It felt like this episode was constantly dangling plot threads literally everywhere. It was trying to fill like 6 episodes worth of content in half an episode's duration.
Yeah.
Like, I admire what they I would admire this more if it had a full episode's duration. But I honestly, and the soundtrack, they had one soundtrack. That was it. And it was just like, whoop, 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 whoop. You know, it's like clock, like hitting, not a xylophone. No, yeah, kind of like a wooden xylophone. Right? And just like this weird, I was so annoying. I just couldn't invest in this. I couldn't care about the characters because
it wasn't even bad enough to hate. It's just bland.
It's just bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly felt like this was an excellent balance between Star Wars and anime, but the limited duration just made it completely. I just couldn't invest in it. It just fell short. They just loved it.
As boring as it is, I could actually see this in canon because there's not enough there to disagree with. Jedi come to be a Sith and they leave. You know?
Ancient aliens and Aztec Sith empresses.
And Jedi hobos crashing B-Wings. Honestly, there was zero relevance to this shot.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They could have just found him in the desert. Like, what was the point in having the fucking B-Wing at all? That's how he got there. What? It doesn't matter.
But he'd been there before, apparently. Like, was he there and then he left? And like,
must have. Anyway.
Yep. And then the hobo it's Aztec Sith princess comes along and goes, "You work for me now. I res her. I cast revive. Good. Now you work for me." He's like, "Yep." Couldn't just grab her and run. Couldn't just stab her through where she's vulnerable. No. So I said, well, you did what you said, so I'll definitely work for you. And then, as you say, the princess is like, "Wait, what happened? What's going on with the plot?"
Wait, did I miss the end?
Maybe this is finally the Isekai Star Wars.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! When she's resurrected,
it did kind of look when they left. They went to another world. So.
Oh my god!
So it's a different person. Like, wait, what? Why am I? Why am I resurrected as a princess in Star Wars?
It gets kind of like surreal at the end and psychedelic, and I do like that, but it's still in that art style, and it's just
cool. Right. Do you guys have any other points you want to add to this?
That one was awful.
That was awful. Right. Okay. Shall we move on to closing thoughts of Star Wars Visions? Our general thoughts. What do you guys want to say? Shall I start?
Yeah. You start.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised by Disney, right? Could they not put a little bit more budget into this to have full-length episodes? Because we saw that the ones we liked the most came close, if not over 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? The ones that did the worst, they barely hit 12.
And that's
right?
that's with the opening and the credits too.
Yep. The biggest issue I honestly felt this series had was some of the top name actors that they brought in. It felt like they wasted the budget on God. It felt like they wasted the budget on big names rather than established voice actors that have been doing things like anime or even just traditional cartoons for a long time, right? They had Lucy Liu, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who was actually she was in the
was she Ocho
in
or
the
was
Duel.
she?
No,
Oh, no, okay.
in the Duel, she was the Sith. The first episode, she was the Sith.
Wow, she did a really good job of like not sounding like Lucy Liu in that.
Well, so did David Harbour.
That's true.
But Joseph Gordon-Levitt, do you have any idea who that is? Is that a yes or a no?
You told me, but I have a terrible memory for what actors have actually been in.
So Joseph Gordon-Levitt is the guy that played the young police officer / detective from Dark Knight Rises.
That's right. Yeah, and a bunch of other stuff too. I know he's been in like a lot of stuff. Yeah,
he was in Third Rock from the Sun when he was a kid. He's been in a lot of things. He was in Inception as well.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And it's just like why right, Neil Patrick Harris. Yeah?
Yeah.
He was in this as well. And like, why are you spending so much money on these big names? Like, I didn't even fucking recognize any of these people voicing the roles, right?
Yeah.
Especially not David Harbour, right? Why not spend that budget on voice actors that have been doing anime for years and put the excess money into making these episodes better? But it just felt like this is a typical Disney move where the name will sell the thing.
Yeah.
They've been known to do that before.
I did enjoy a lot of them. I think it's worth a watch. Skip Toby and Akakiri though. Just don't worry about those.
Tatooine Rhapsody.
And Tatooine Rhapsody. Skip those. Watch the rest. I agree. I fully agree that these episodes need to be. And I also wish that there had been fewer ones that felt like they were other ideas stuffed into Star Wars. But even those are, even a lot of those are still watchable in their own way.
Oh, it's all watchable. It's nothing. No, it's apart from maybe the last one, which is just pure boringness.
Oh, you haven't seen Toby yet, though.
I haven't seen Toby. It's true. Yeah, that one might be pain for the eyeballs. But the thing that gets me is, it's discussed to me. Is this supposed to be just random anime and random Star Wars chucked in a mixing bowl and stirred, or is it supposed to be Star Wars but done from a different perspective? And most of them just feel like, oh, we wanted to do this show, and then we just slapped Star Wars bumper stickers all over it as much as we could.
I personally feel it's the former. It's them trying to put anime and Star Wars in a mixing bowl to see what's. I checked out a bunch of anime YouTubers. From the Mother's Basement was one of them. I'll see if I can actually find the others.
Can we pause for a sec, by the way?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. I just need to go to the toilet.
Right. I honestly can't remember where we were. I think we're getting tired. It's late. So I think the best thing to do now is top 3 picks.
Yep.
If you can easily do that, and then we'll move on to the rest of the show. All right. So, Loz 3, 2, 1, as in third, second, third.
3, 2, 1. I'm not sure what will go my. Oh no, I will go. Is it the Elder?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then the Bride. Then the 7 billion Jedi.
The Ninth Jedi. Yes.
9 Jedi. That's the one.
Mine is essentially the same, except swap out the Elder for the Duel.
Fair.
You're putting the Ninth Jedi above the Village Bride?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite, man.
Okay.
Me and Loz,
Okay.
right together on that.
Okay.
No,
Right.
I feel the Bride was really good. At first, I was like, "What's going on here? What's this about Bride and sitting in a chair and walking on her back? Poor man's got to carry this woman around. What's this about? What is he silly recreating the past things?" And then I got very grounded. It was showing how there's a lot there that was going on there. And I feel you could make that would probably make the better series. But I was just so impressed with the Ninth Jedi's. The Ninth Jedi was the only one that I felt gave us a different vision of Star Wars.
Oh, true.
And the pacing was just so good.
Yeah.
Mine is third is actually Lop and Ocho.
Mm-hmm.
Second is the Ninth Jedi. So I saw 5, 9, and I had a 2 in my head.
Right.
So yeah, second is the Ninth Jedi, and my first is the Village Bride. So
Lop and Ocho is third.
yeah, honestly,
Based on
like
like the
White
animation
Coats.
style and
my
everything.
fourth, my fourth is the Elder. But I was like, come on, it's that bad. It is so bad.
Yeah, I give you that. Yeah. I see your white coats and I try you. Master Jedi, I'm gonna go over there. Yeah. I'll see that. Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, those two are quite close, but like the gap between my second choice and my third choice is very big. Second and first, they're firmly where they are. Third, they'd be down the hill somewhere. Right, okay. So that's pretty much it. That's our take
On that note, now that we have finished our watching of the Star Wars visions, we would like to slowly wrap up this episode.
Tell us your thoughts on Star Wars Visions. Tell us if you've not been interested at all in watching it. Tell us what you think our opinions are like, whether or not you completely agree that the Ninth Jedi and the Village Bride are the best choices. Tell us if there's anything that we missed out. Like, is there some subtle nuance that we didn't pick up on Tumor Brain Hobo Jedi or fucking Astro Boy?
Oh, jeez, that really is the best name for him.
You don't realize the two
Yes.
characters that follow the Hobo Jedi represent the dueling struggles within one's soul to progress onwards while still being rooted in the past.
Oh yeah, I thought we were
Tumor and the not Tumor.
I thought we were going to get some kind of conflict between him and the Hobo Jedi and the two guys, because early on they were. I know we're dragging it way back in again. They like had some conflict early on and it just went nowhere.
Yeah. That's the whole thing that went nowhere.
Yeah,
But that was the tumor, right? Okay.
Not a tumor.
It's not a tumor, right? Okay. So from this
Ewing.
point, right? So we're now going to move on. What we would cover now. Why is that on? Why does that turn on?
it just does it
You
automatically.
broke it. You fucking broke it, right? So we would do the supporter questions now, but unfortunately, we lost those due to me restarting my computer and apparently never hitting the save button. So that was a good job on my part. But again,
it's been a struggle to get this week's one done. hasn't it?
it really has. Like the amount of pain and suffering we've had to go through to get this one.
Losing everything. I've lost a hard drive. Nazard lost an episode, and you lost the supporter questions.
Beset by the dark side.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm happier that I lost the supporter questions and not either of the other two things.
I know who's really behind it all.
Lop and Ocho?
Disney.
Okay. No, sorry, you mean Disney. Anyway.
Behind it all.
Right, okay, so we're going to move straight on to the comments from last week. So, Zrugal, I really like to see pros and cons and get a 10-point score rating system. So, one thing we could do is in like, oh, this is what we thought, and hit a button and it'll show like, Xeno says 9 out of 10. IGN says 11 out of 10. Yahtzee says fuck off. Yeah, it's if how are you guys feeling on the rating system? Do you want to keep it loose and wild?
Well, I like keeping the funny rating system when we do it for some of it. Maybe the end of season ones, or maybe the end of the year ones when we're going to do some Christmas, aren't we?
Yeah, cool. Right, and then Nick Evans says, I am now really looking forward to the results of Xeno actually reading the entirety of One Piece to current day. The poor man, especially with how tight some of the text has to be to fit in the speech bubbles. Nick Evans,
are you going to read all of One Piece?
Fuck no.
I'll do it with you.
If I'm reading stuff, it's gonna be stuff I would like to read. Right?
He's got a backlog of hentai that he's got to get through.
Some deep parts there.
As fuck you. Hey, look, I'd rather read High School Double D. It's really struggling to remember the plot. It was than fucking One Piece. God damn. One Piece? Really? Fucking no, I haven't got enough time for that. No one's got fucking enough time for that. What do you think I am? A student? Actually, I knew a lot of students that actually just blitzed through all of One Piece. Right. Okay, and now we're going to move on to
memes?
The memes. Yeah, the memes for this week, which
delicious memes.
Link this time to poor Loz because it's a lot harder to do without. And we're going to go straight to the first meme, which is Nasuth's.
Which isn't showing up for some reason?
What?
Did you hit it?
Actually, I did. Why? Did you break it? Did you delete them? Pause. There we go. Technical issues. Right, so Nasuth, your first one.
Yes, so this is obviously Halloween themed, but you know how it is these days. Christmas starts way before Halloween now, so don't look at it. It's not worth your time. Look into my eyes. Spooky memes are temporary, but Padoru is eternal.
Oh yeah, I remember this. Yeah.
Got a nice little oogie spook in the background. Oh, so cute.
Yep. Okay, moving on to your second one.
Student council in anime? Rest of the world.
Oh my god, it do be like that. I do wonder, like, sometimes from watching anime, like, does their student council actually do? Because, like, when I was at university, all our student council were just having meetings, and that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't actually achieve anything. Right. Your third one?
What we saw. What Lord Frieza saw. Yeah.
Oh god, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Good old Brawly.
Right. Right. So my first one, which is a little hard to read. The first panel says, "Your Japanese really is good." The second panel says, "I studied by watching anime." And then you have Anakin Skywalker from the prequels saying, like, "Is it possible to learn this power?" Then we have my second one, which has no explanation whatsoever. You either get this or you don't.
Oh no!
Right?
Oh.
Okay. And then
to be fair, Xeno did have to explain this to me. I did not.
Yeah.
I did not get it at first.
Yep. So
I'm afraid I don't get this one. Should I get this one?
Think when do you have protagonists that haven't had their eyes drawn? Moving on to the third one.
Right, you can explain this.
Right.
Okay.
And then we have you do not have permission to shut down this computer. And then there's me.
Me. Don't mess with me, you little.
So I think that's from SSSS Gridman. So I can't remember if I think she is unplugging the computer at that point. But yeah, huh? Gridman. Yeah, Gridman. Yeah. Anyway, so that is it for the memes for this week. Yeah, that's it for this show. We oh, for the love of God, why were those nameplates just suddenly turn off?
Oh no!
I love the nameplates. The nameplates are awesome.
Yep. Yep, that's it for this week. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. Hope you had a good time. Any suggestions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below.
This was a hard episode to make, but a great one in the end.
I'm not. Is Loz weirdly leaning for you?
Yeah, no, it's because I'm down to just the hand trackers, so it does the weird thing where it can't work for anything else but where my hands and heads are. Because I'm just like,
he's just doing a nice.
Done.
He's doing a nice hula dance for us.
Right. So, are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh wait, no. Should we say what our next week's episode is? Because we didn't do that.
What? Yeah. What is next week's episode?
Should we do the isekai? Take on isekai genre?
Sure.
Yeah?
Sure.
Yeah? So there you go. Next week, we're going to be talking about isekai shows. Right. Okay. Ready?
Yep. Do you want to, should we have like a 3-2-1? Would it just work? Then just.
I think it needs a 3-2-1.
Yeah. Because that's the thing. We're all waiting for some sort of signal.
That's how improv works. Right. 3, 2, 1. Kanpai!
Kanpai!
Still doesn't work.
There we go.